Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the ESOCs are out of position. The Carolians as well, and the ESOCs are gonna go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The trees for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The ESOCs, all the ESOCs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The ESOCs coming back from their raid. Nah, that's GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the ESOCs, that's gonna be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolians are gonna come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Yeah, it's so the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have a chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 6-inch HP.
Oh! Frontline, what a god!
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, Michael, it was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
He's gonna need to take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get on the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 vills. He's so far at an eco. Put some vills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP. The cab is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though?
There's not enough
running out.
Yeah.
Eaton Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up, Trump being king here, and just even though
drag boxing the Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atoman, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atomans are getting snared by the. Oh my
Nagis are
goodness!
shredding this right now, and it doesn't look like he's got.
+11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on this fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire mass up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashes getting buffed for the Dino. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's going to have to sack off his Ruskies. He has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's going to try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he going to be taking? This is not as micro from Ungers, but you know, the Autons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontins are absolutely insane, but he has drawn him into the double blockhouse, now fighting under the double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Skits are a little
defending?
behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP tech. Some Warriors are mixing. The Atoans doing absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's a plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes on the
the
Strelets.
blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but the you know, there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelets a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the ESOCs are out of position. The Carolians as well, and the ESOCs are gonna go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The trees for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The ESOCs, all the ESOCs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The ESOCs coming back from their raid. Nah, that's GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the ESOCs, that's gonna be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolians are gonna come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Yeah, it's so the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have a chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 6-inch HP.
Oh! Frontline, what a god!
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, Michael, it was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
He's gonna need to take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get on the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 vills. He's so far at an eco. Put some vills on the attack dance, and this this will be even better. He's not switching, he's on XP. The cab is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though? I think
There's not
Julian is
enough
running
stuff,
out.
though, yeah.
Eaton Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up truck, being king here, and just even though
Drag boxing the
long-
Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atoman, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atomans are getting snared by
my
the.
God,
Oh my
Nagis
goodness!
are shredding this right now, and it doesn't look like
the
he's got.
plus 11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on this fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire mass up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashes getting buffed by the Dynamo. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's going to have to sack off Ruskies. He has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's going to try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he going to be taking? This is nice micro from Ungers, but you know, the Autons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontins are absolutely insane. But he has drawn him into the double blockhouse. Now fighting under the double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Skits are a
enough to
little
prevent it?
behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP tech. Some warriors are mixing. The Atoans doing absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's a plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes
coming in now
on the
with
Strelitz.
Blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelitz a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the Slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the ESOCs are out of position. The Carolinians as well, and the ESOCs are going to go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The tree is for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The ESOCs, all the ESOCs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The ESOCs coming back from fair rate. Nah, GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the ESOCs, that's going to be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolinians are going to come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Yeah, it's so the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have the chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 62 HP.
Oh! Frontline with the god.
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh! My brother was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
He's gonna need to take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get on the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 vills. He's so far at an eco. Put some vills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP. The cab is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though? I think
There's not
Julian is
enough
running
stuff,
out.
though, yeah.
Eaton Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up truck, being king here, and just even though
Drag boxing the
long-
Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atoman, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atomans are getting snared by the. Oh my
Nagis are
goodness!
shredding this right now, and it doesn't look like
the
he's got.
plus 11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on this fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire mass up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashes getting buffed by the Dynamo. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's going to have to sack off Ruskies. He has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's going to try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he going to be taking? This is nice micro from Ungers, but you know, the Autons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontins are absolutely insane. But he has drawn him into the double blockhouse. Now fighting under the double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Skits
enough
are a
to
little
prevent it?
behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP Some warriors are mixing the Atoan swing. Absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's a plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes on the Strelets.
blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelets a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks where they want to be on the Slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the ESOCs are out of position. The Carolinians as well, and the ESOCs are gonna go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The trees for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. The ESOCs, all the ESOCs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The ESOCs coming back from their raid. Nah, GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the ESOCs, that's gonna be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolinians are gonna come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Gosh, the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have the chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 62 HP.
Oh! Frontline, what the god?
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, I thought it was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
He's gonna need to take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get onto the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 fills. He's so far in eco. Put some fills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP.
Yeah, good evening, ladies and gentlemen. I'm joined by Kavarna with Craft on Production. Very excited to bring you round 3 of the ESOC Premier League. We have very exciting matchups today. We will start off with Conqueror versus Optimus. Then we'll move into Psionic versus Rohbrot. So the
My
stakes are
name is Optimus Prime. Hello, everyone. Yeah, Optimus versus Conqueror. I was just looking at the standings right now. Optimus is on a 7-3 win, and Conqueror is on a 5-6. So Conqueror is an underdog here for this match. You just need to outperform. I think Optimus is doing really, really well as well in this tournament. He's playing so well. I've seen some of his matches, and he's really surprising me. We have Julian, then Zero. Just realized that how well Julian is playing. Jesus Christ.
Yep, I think Opti is playing it really well. Even went 4-1 versus Ezad. Not the result most people were expecting. Went 3-2 versus Azam. So Opti Magic looking pretty solid. Proving himself to be the rightful leader of the Autobots. Fighting for humanity. But we have the first matchup covered now.
Yeah, nice one. Chinchamilin versus Elvo. And yeah, man, people talking about Julian versus Kurtuboy. Kurtuboy is on a 9-1 as well. He only lost a single match, and Julian hasn't lost yet. So I think that's the most expected game of the series. So definitely hang around. So probably what's gonna be the timing for that one? Let me get you on the pin message here. That's gonna be
21 GMT.
9 GMT. So we're gonna have guys today after this series, Conquerors versus Optimus Prime. Right. You're gonna have Psionic versus Rohbrot at probably in 1 or 2 hours time. With Shake and Harrison casting that. Then we're gonna follow through at 7 GMT, so it's gonna be a little bit later on. We're gonna have Maito and Minimount. You're gonna have Manakiko, Soldier, and Mompa casting and producing that. And lastly, at 9 GMT, guys, we're gonna have Julian versus Skater Boy with Mompa Haza and casting and production.
Yeah, I think that series is going to be hype, worthy of a standalone tournament finale itself. But shout out to Stanley Vincent. Thank you for the raid. Shout out to Yavuz. Hope I'm pronouncing that correctly for the follow. So yeah, we have the first matchup: Opti's China versus Conqueror's Portuguese on Central Asia. Uh, if Let us know whenever we are ready to dive into game one. Can't wait for this series.
Yeah, we have big craft coming through with the production at the last minute, so big prompts for craft.
Oh yeah, Craft Legend coming in clutch. Would not want to miss this series at all.
Okay. Let me just open this another tab here. I want to have the maps. So this is Central Asia.
Let's dive right into game one. Kavarna, I'll leave it to kick off game number one.
Okay, I will lead the number one game here. So, ladies and gentlemen, comrades, welcome to the week 3 of the EPL. This is the Sunday matches. We have now Conqueror versus Optimus Prime. We have this beautiful matchup here in Central Asia. We have Portuguese on the color blue, that's Conqueror. So actually we're showing the color red, which is China here. That's Optimus Prime. Opening up to the town with the TP right on the top. And on the color blue, we have Conqueror playing the Portuguese. And we have here the casters. We have Caverna TV and Come Get Some. And we have Craft on Production. So welcome everybody.
Yeah, stacked matchups, stacked production, stacked casters, if I may say so myself. But Kavarna, we have the map Central Asia. I don't think we have either seen China or Portuguese on the map. I would say a little bit of a peculiar pick because you often want to go China on map with livestock. And I believe Central Asia does not have it. Also, you have the option of this big pond in the middle, providing some water play. Why? And unless you are Azamk, you're not going for water as China. So yeah, interesting picks here, Kavarna.
Yeah, that's true. I wonder if like boards can use the town center near the water. Maybe try to sort of get some security in the water like that.
Potential vision contention. Nope, Conqueror gets it, but might lose his hero for that. His deck called Anti-China. So Conqueror has come prepared, going for the 10-10 TP build. So nothing crazy. Has all the H2 cards his needs. Has Town Militia. Even has the Cannoneer Mercenaries, which are like sort of weaker version of Abyss guns. If he needs to stay H2. Will be interesting to see where he puts it on the second TC. Will he go for an FF or will he like to do some colonial play with a fast H2, given that he's going up with 10 by 10? Can we see his age up there? The Quartermaster. So that's going to be 400 word. So could potentially indicate H2 play here, Kavarna.
Well, let's see. Maybe a same FF. But if he's going for a 10-10, I just assume he's gonna go straight into H3. But let's see. He also is sent Fatoria. So that's gonna get that little trickle right from the start. Can you just look at Optimus deck now? Let's see what this guy's up to. Opening up the French Consulate, so I think we're gonna also have a fast age up here. We have very few cards in H2. So I do expect a fast age up here from China.
The name says it all. FI deck.
FI, oh, that is interesting. Yeah, we do have the 300 Diplomat Intrigue. What's that little goat guy there? Why does it sound like goats to the?
Yeah, I think it gives you like 4 herds per village you have. So it can be pretty strong. It's not the most standard card in 1v1, but yeah, it's pretty interesting.
I think that's one of the cards I don't know. Like a couple of funny cards in Age 4 as well that I don't even know what they do. So interesting. You might be seeing something unusual here for Optimus. So looking forward to that.
Yeah, Opti pulling out some Opti magic, looking like French consulate. Can we see his Age of Wonder though? Doesn't look like the Summer Palace to me. Is it yeah, it's the Porcelain Tower. So going a little bit greedy in H2. So that's pretty standard Opti Magic, Opti Greed. So yeah, I think both players will be a little unusual. Can we see the second TC placement for Conqueror? I think that will indicate what's happening. Stable in the town, sorry, stable in base, and the TC going very ambitious, very forward. So yeah, signals to me like an H2 play here. Conqueror wants to put up some pressure, not the traditional, FF words you would one would expect in this matchup. Even snagging the second TP with the Age of Wood here.
Yeah, interesting. Yeah, it's a nice gold mine in the middle. That's securing that to allows him to control the map in a very standard way. Also, if it goes H3, sometimes they like to add another town center next to the forward one, securing the control of the middle of the map and trying to starve China. But yeah, this map is a very peculiar one. Sometimes you want to maybe use the town center next to the water, because if you do lose a little bit of map control, you can still use water to your advantage. I think you saw ASM game yesterday where he had a fort in there and allow him to actually stay in the game for a little bit longer by controlling the water. So there's a lot of people, it was a bit kind of controversial, the fort positioning there, even I. But at the end of the day, he actually used that to his advantage and it took a little bit of the water control. So that was pretty cool.
Yeah, I think that's the tactics in this map. I think Optimus hasn't scouted the stable. He did scout the forward TC. Nice 4 Hussar badge for Conqueror. Will wipe out these pesky disciples. Give him nice XP. And look at Opti's reaction time. Sending German Expeditionary Company, which will give him powerful Doppelswordness. Ooh, losing a villager there. Not the greatest thing. But sending Minutemen, sending Doppelswordness. Imagine those Doppelswordness popping off on those bows and Hazard. They will clean.
Minuteman comes in.
Doppelswordness popping on the wrong side. Disciples trying to snare. Conqueror running for his life there. Double sets of Minutemen coming in. Good micro there by Conqueror. Already killing 2 Doppelswordners. Might even get the third one. Forcing 2 batches of Minutemen. Killing few disciples. Killing a villager. Nice engage there.
So he hasn't sent like diplomatic intrigue. He just got that from the standard influence that he had, right? Export, I mean.
Yeah, I think he went for the 300 export into 700 coin, now going into 700 wood. While Conqueror...
that saved him. Because he was with the French, so to switch you had to spend 100 more, so he wouldn't have that much export. So he would have to send 300 diplomatic intrigue. So yeah, that really saved him, and it really stopped any pressure that was coming from Conqueror. I think Conqueror might just have to FF here and give up on any ideas of H2 plays, I think. Probably macroing an H-up. No units being made. Here comes the steel traps. Actually, he's making some more hus. Maybe still keep the pressure on. Or maybe he might just queuing that just in case and cancel that before it's ready. Just in case China decides to push a little bit.
Sending in 6 musketeers, I think Conqueror is sort of committing to this H2 pressure. Not sure if I like it. Let's see if we can make something happen. One thing to note is for Asians as to age up, they do have to send villagers on the Wanda. So if you can idle while they are aging, you can sort of delay that H3 for a long time. But look at Opti already halfway aging with the Confucian Academy. So he'll get 10 skirms from the age up. He still has a couple of drops left. I think, can we look at the HP on those drops? I think one is on pretty low HP, one is still surviving. So that along with TC Fire would be enough, anti-cap sort of, while the age up Arquebusiers can easily deal with the 6 Musk batch coming in from Conqueror.
Yeah, also with the China option, we're going with the tower. Doesn't the tower get less resources because you age up with H2?
Yeah,
I wonder why people still go for the tower instead of the other way around. Because I think maybe because if you go with the other wonder you wouldn't get 10 skirmishes, you get less skirmishes, right?
That's true. I think the conventional H2 option used to be the Summer Palace, but
Chokunu.
I think now it's nerfed slightly and gives you
Oh,
less
there it is. You get 4 Chokunu instead of 8 Hackabusers. That's the reason why. So you stay at H3 with the factory, let's say. It's just like a USA factory, you know, when you get in H3. It's pretty
Yeah.
much the same thing as, I suppose, if not worse.
True. So Conqueror also electing for the age up, skip that 6 mask badge. Opti smells blood though. He knows the third town center might be pop forward. He really wants to deny the placement. He knows he aged up quicker than Conqueror, so he has a small timing window. Will he get the TC that is going to build? Remember, any siege on that TC is multiplied x4, and he still has drops alive and those drops shadow tech. So that TC will quickly
Ooh, go down
burn into the ground.
really fast.
Wow.
Yeah, there
Already
was nothing to
500 votes
defend. The
tonight.
Hussars just went through. Maybe the Hussars could have maybe delayed them a little bit, but trying to get some raids. But the villagers protects the villagers very well. Very interesting build, going for some sort of like hack abuser, Doppelsoldners for China. Really nice to see that.
Ooh, the batch of
Ooh.
8 Cassados on the shipment getting caught by the Forbidden China Cav. And even the second TC will go down. Conqueror does not have an answer to all this China stuff. Yeah, going to lose the TC, going to lose the villagers, going to lose the FP, and potentially even get the game here.
Yeah, because we
Free
go
Hafal
for
batch coming from
Victorias and then we
behind.
lose 2 town centers. It's pretty much like half of the strategy right there to the bean, right?
Wow. I've never seen the German double swordness get so much value out in a game.
True. Actually, I've never seen the personas being done by China. Very nice to see that. Yeah, it's pretty
Yeah.
much the stuff that I would see Portuguese doing, like some sort of Halberdier Caçador stuff. And actually, he used that against him. He's pretty much doing that. Now got some Chengdaos on the top of that. Will definitely secure his forward base.
Yeah, I think Portuguese is not even ahead in economy here. China's mass is better. Maybe the 3 organ gun shipment can save Conqueror, but has already lost his FP, has lost 2 town centers, his Pretoria, as you said. Yeah, looking really tough for him right now.
Okay, so yeah, it was nice 2 calves that he got there. I think it was 1 meteor hammer.
Did Opti add a dock? Is that a dock? Wow.
Okay, interesting.
Opti Greed
Right.
continues to surprise me.
Well, it's cheaper than going for a town center, and then also denies your opponent for ever going there, because if you be able to see it, then you might be able to react to water, and it's just cheaper than going for an extra town center, you know. But now he knows that the Portuguese is on a single town center, and he's on town center and water, and he doesn't really have to push. But he
That's
can
true.
because he does have the military, right? He's going all the way in that corner, trying to get the food from the other side first. So if he has to retreat, he will still have the fish onto his side, right?
Right.
And also give that nice visibility.
Yeah, maybe Opti is just afraid of the 3 organ gun. He doesn't want to overcome it. So yeah, he's trying to mass, and there comes the 3 organ. Look at that! Look at that micro. Will the Doppelsoldners go into the fishing boats?
Yes.
Wow. That's insane. That's insane. I think Opti loves those Doppelsoldners, man. The value he has gotten, the micro he has done to save them. They're just chilling in that fishing boat. Yeah.
Stanley,
Gotta
if
love
you
the
just
game
type
physics,
in,
man. How so many units can fit into that fishing boat. But yeah, we got a fight in the middle.
yeah, if you just type exclamation mark standings, you give you a link to the standings of the tournament. So here comes the Argon Guns. We do have the Flaming Arrow in position to counter that. Let's see how they're going to position. There's a lot of Dragoons here for ports. But he's like explosive Flaming Arrow. The Argons come back and the Goons managed to take that in. That was pretty nice. But there's
That's
so many
nice.
units here from China.
I think what Opti is doing, he wants to wait for the 7 hand mortars to counter the organ guns. He knows he doesn't want to take a risk. He could dive in, but there's still a couple of halves remaining. And when organ guns stand and shoot, they just wreak havoc on the low HP China infantry. Will
Yeah,
the
but
organ
Conquer
gun get another
smells
shot?
blood. He has the organs in place. And there's a lot of cav coming through from China as well. If those junk dog will connect, they will take down everything. The Dragoons have to back down. They're super expensive units as well.
Yeah, Opti just going in. So much China stuff from his side. All the melee units going in. The organ guns got some nice shots, but eventually melted. It didn't even need the 7 hand mortars to counter the 3 organ guns. That's the
I'm gonna
China
go
death
straight
war.
to the town center now.
Yeah.
I think Conquer hasn't realized he already lost this. But he knows.
Yeah.
But it's just a matter of time until he
Do we
does
have
so.
some contestant on the water? Why is Opti training a boat? I think he's just trying to be pesky. And
There it
game
is.
number 1 goes to Opti.
Nobody care about us. Yeah, that was well deserved for Optimus. I think for the H2, the plan wasn't really well defined on Conqueror's side.
Yeah. Can we just look at the Doppelsordner stats, man? I think they are the MVP of this game. Look at that. Shadow taking
78
Doppelsordner.
siege. That's a lot of siege.
Yeah.
If you think 10 of these guys can do 780 damage.
Yeah, I think they raised that town center that was building by themselves. Like 78 times 4, that's like 320 siege per shot. And that was just insane.
I didn't know
I
it was
think
times 4.
I
That
think
was an
it's times 3
interesting.
or 4, something like that for sure.
Right. Yeah, nice match.
Yeah, I think Conqueror tried some cheeky H2 stuff. Could have worked versus a naked China FF, but Opti adapting his gameplay, sending the diplomatic entry, getting a nice Doppelsordner badge, getting good value out of that, held the H2 pressure, went to H3 faster than Portuguese, and then just hit him with the timing, and Conqueror was just caught unaware.
Yeah, he was just really like outplayed there, not gonna lie. Like the going for the French and then switching to the German H2. It was such a good play because give the flexibility of sending the dops. He completely denied the crossbows and the batch of hussars from Conqueror. I mean, Conqueror could have delayed so much of China, but maybe a little bit overcommitted, too close to the how do you call the consulate? Maybe a
Right.
little bit not careful with the units and their positioning a little bit, but maybe there's nothing he could have done. And maybe just it is what it is. Maybe just Optimus just played this very well and overwhelmed Conqueror.
Yeah, maybe could have scouted the German consulate, the little flag on the consulate. That might have been a giveaway. But again, it could just be the greedy trickles. So there's no way for Conqueror to know what's coming. And yeah, just well played by Opti overall.
Yeah, we can just go back maybe craft now to the score page.
Got some funny comments going on. Tavin has a funny name for the flying crow. Yeah, I think the flying crows in H3 got a lot of flack. Not sure why, but yeah, I don't think they're the strongest artillery for sure. But not sure if they're that bad. But yeah, I leave it to Tavin, the China pro. Harrison saying, I love to be these two casters finding anything in life pretty funny.
Harrison
We
always,
got our
always.
inside jokes. Harrison, you are welcome to join. Kavanagh is a pretty funny dude.
Don't respond to that. Don't.
Yeah,
being
I
Harrison.
loved your Optimus voiceover for sure. Oh man, thanks Stanley. Can't read that aloud. You know there might be kids still there, but thank you for that. Ooh, we have the second matchup though, Kavarna. Italy versus
Yeah.
Russia. How do you feel about that one?
Hey. I'm not sure about this. I assume Italy is going to be on top. I think Italy might be a little bit harder to play, but probably the better save. So I assume Italy will be better.
Yeah, I think the map is Cascade Range, the no TP map. That sort of explains the Civ picks. But it's been a long time since I've seen this matchup being played. It'll be interesting how it goes. And remember, since Optimus won game one, it was Conqueror's counterpick. So he's feeling pretty confident choosing Italy into Optimus's Russia. So yeah, he must have some game plan in mind for sure.
All right, so let's hop into game two. Did you see it? Yes, can you just lead us on this one?
For sure. We have Conqueror in the north of the map, playing color blue, playing Italy, Preto Garja. And we have his opponent leading this series 1-0, Optimus, spawning in the bottom of the map in the color red, playing his Russia. It'll be very interesting to see how this matchup plays out. Remember, the map is Cascade Range. You don't have any trading posts. The rush distance between the two town centers is pretty short. We have seen a lot of India, a lot of Aztec, and Russia to be the favorite picks on the map. I don't think I've ever seen Italy being played here. So, yeah, might see some non-standard build orders. What are your thoughts, Kavarna?
Yeah, just like thinking that having no TP here and Italy being able to construct the churches, so that might be a good thing. She's gonna have the free church, free experience from the architect, so that could be a good pick in that sense. And also, he can also might be lacking a little bit of food here on the map, and if he just use the Lombards and convert the wood into food, so that also could be really good coming to a good pick here because of Italy. Yeah, I think that's not a bad pick. I just don't know how does he do well versus Russia pressure. I assume Russia will play H2, but that part I'm not aware.
Yeah, I think one point to note is, some players do like adding a dock here. You got a lot of fish. There are no wheels on this map, so you can't over make fish or go gung ho on water. But I think making 6 or 7 boats just to complement your economy here, especially as Russia in late H2, can really help you out. The map does not have too much hunts. You've got some berries, etc. So not the best map to total. But Italy is a civ, as you said, you've got the Lombard, you got the church, you got everything trickling XP. Don't need to venture out too far on the map. And you have that architect putting in some work, some back-breaking labor, already built a couple of buildings for free, and is tasked to work overtime on the other buildings.
Let's look at Italy's deck. Let's see what he's up to. So we know the market, making his first Lombard, I assume. Send capitalism. We do have some couple of H2 play there for those mercenaries. Yeah, we have the Pavis. 11 Pavis is in H3. I think it's a normal deck here. I don't see anything out of the extraordinary here that I don't recognize.
Yeah, he's got enough cards in H2 to ward off any Russia timing. He has those couple of Merc shipments. He has the 8 bows. He has the standard cards he needs. And then the deck is pretty much geared more towards H3 and slightly towards H4 as well. where we know Italy sort of shines. Let's move to Opti now. Now, does Opti have anything interesting in his deck? Land 1 went for the Wood Trickle. Pretty standard H2 cards, has all the cards he needs. No Boya. Okay, he has Boyas, he has infantry combat, he has all the army cards he needs. Pretty standard deck, I would say. Let's look at where the villages are going to put the FP. Uh, so yeah, pretty far forward. Yeah, I think Opti is playing it pretty standard. I think that's almost as close to the Italy TC as you can get. Um, we'll see if Italy has scouted that. Nope, not yet. What is
And
Italy
that's a
aging
good
up to?
location for as well because the trees probably gives a little bit of obscure, so a little bit of shadow. So if you don't move your explorer around the bushes, you won't be the trees. You won't be able to see that very well. Very well. So I think that's gonna be like pretty much like hidden place here. And then if Conquer is not aware, he's just gonna get really surprised by the push here. And yeah, very forward, taking a lot of map control here. There's a couple of hunts on the left that he can deny. And I think Conquer is already hurting the other hunt, which is really, really nice of him. He does need to control the herd. But after that, he will have to come out of his shell. Maybe he can go up on the north. There's another hunt over there, 2 more hunts over there.
Mhm.
So yeah, I think he just have to start herding as soon as possible onto this map.
Yeah. One thing just to note, pretty nice scouting by Optimus. Already sieged like 20% HP off that tower whilst it was building. Has scouted the stable. I think initially he was trying to macro a little bit for Strelets because Strelets do well on the town center fire and they are good, another better unit choice to sort of idle your opponent. But as soon as he scouted the stable, he went for the Musk Cossack composition, which is pretty smart. Now let's see how Conqueror deals with this pressure.
Yeah, just idling the architects.
Ooh,
One
barely
more
saved the
fix on
villager. Yeah. Nice control there by Conqueror. Can we switch to Conqueror POV? Does he have... Ooh, nice 4 Hussar batch under all this pressure with Town Center and TC Fire. That should be enough Hussars to deal with that. Another batch of 5 Rescues incoming from the other flank. Conqueror trying his best to kite, even batching Minutemen here. Might be a little premature, but with the Hussar snaring, we'll clean this up for sure.
Yeah, but that was a very early Minuteman now, and that's the major defense that he has here. And then it just makes life pretty easy for Optimus because there'll be no follow-up. There's not going to be any funky stuff with Minutemen anymore unless he signs something like Town Militia, which is going to go also into Optimus' favor, which he doesn't even have anyway. So it was a very early Minuteman, in my opinion.
Yeah, I agree. A little bit premature for sure, but seems like Conqueror was feeling the pressure. Another batch of 4 Cossacks and 10 Musks coming in. The herding has not been the best. And look at that. Opti positioning his hero forward to snipe the low HP Minutemen. Excellent micro there by Opti.
Gonna lose another villager. There's a shipment coming through. I think that's the Lombard wagons give you also 600 coin, right? So he's gonna get some extra food in wood there. Gets a house denied. I think there's an outpost that he's constructing or in a house. He's making a house. Okay.
Yeah, he was just popped. Great pressure from Opti. More than 10 villages idle. Has already killed a couple of villagers. Minutemen have been spent. What is Italy sending? Is that the 8 bow shipment? Yep, that's the 8 bow shipment. Yeah. Nice micro by Conqueror, those using the town center fire and the tower to focus the remaining Cossacks. He knows Russia can't add a stable this early, going so all in. So 8 Purveyors will be able to deal with all the Russian infantry, while town center TC fire dealt with the Hussars. So Conqueror stabilizes for now.
I also think the town center has a multiplier versus Cav, so that's kind of it's pretty much like a counter unit, like. So it's kind of nice to use that first.
Exactly. Both tower and town center do. So that's pretty
He definitely will be able to hold a little bit with these units. Now he has a batch of 3 Hus as well that came out. And Can he stabilize from here? The Hunt's kind of running away. He did idle quite some time here. The score is kind of still in favor of Conqueror after all of this. Can you just so we have 19 villagers here for Conqueror. Can you just see how Optimus is doing? He's on the 26 villagers. Can we see what he's sent so far? Sent 700 coin now, but he already have the trickle wood, and he went with the 2 cap shipment, right? Back to back.
Yep.
All right.
Yep, Opti has got his infrastructure up. Can we see Opti's market tags? I'm curious. Without the 400 wood, yeah, he's just on hunting dogs right now. That's what happens when you don't go sort of for the 700 wood. It can be a little hard to macro for the market upgrades and the stable. But we have another push. Russian horde marching in. He has a Cossack bash to sort of snare the Paviciers. But nice tight base building from Conqueror now to not let the Musketeers connect. He's trying to use the range of the Paviciers to snipe the Musketeers. Again, town center TC fire on the Cossacks. Ooh, nice villager pulling in, which were gathering crates. Nice snare by the hero. Good Pavicier micro so far. This is very tight. This is very tight. Remember, he does not have Minutemen left. The Hussars are just enough to block all the Cossacks. The Cossacks are now dead. But losing another villager, potentially a second one. Yeah, and Opti will now
I think
just...
that's the third villager on this list, right? That went down.
Yeah, I think Opti is fine taking these trades. He comes in, he idles Italy's eco, kills a few villagers. But behind all this, Italy's managed to macro for an H3. So... still an even game, and Italy might actually be slightly ahead here, Kavarna.
Yeah, it's always a scary prospect when you play versus Italy. Even though all this pressure, he still managed to age up behind all of this. I mean, he done 3 Hussars so far, but I don't think Optimus has any intentions of aging up here. He's just gonna stay putting pressure. Can you look just Optimus one more time before we go back into Conqueror's view? Because we actually want to stay in Italy to the defensive side. Yeah, he's just gonna be popping units. So if you go back to Italy, it's because I want to see what's gonna come up on the pops and what's he has no shipments, you know. He has a church, but the Pavizier's gonna go down now. And
he is in the advanced politician, so something's going to pop from the town's tower or the town's center, and it will get a bonus because of the town. Ooh, Musketeers popping.
Yep.
Maybe on the wrong side. He would have loved to pop them from the tower on the Cossacks. Russian Musketeers catching the Age of Musketeers. Remember, these are H2 Musketeers. Paviciers are there. Just enough mass for him to stabilize, even tanking with the Architects. Look at them.
Yeah,
Antonio Gaudi would be proud. Those Architects putting in some work, man. They aren't afraid to get their hands dirty. Building sculptures during the day, punching Mother Russian masks in the evening. All in a day's work for them.
Yeah, that's just a matter of how much pressure can Conqueror withstand here with the fire, the outpost at the same time. And I mean, he just cannot let Conqueror have any breathing space and manage to get any mass. But at the same time, you do have to go under the town center fire like that. And he's just bleeding units right now. And in batches of 5, just not gonna cut it. And then once he ships another unit shipment, and then maybe 2 Falconers, I think Russia will be done for. If Russia stays in H2, it doesn't come with like batches of 5. I don't think that's gonna cut it anymore. He realized that, and I think he is in great peril now. He has to realize either I'm gonna age up now, or I'm gonna come with a bigger mass and try to do something different. Yeah, definitely the Strelets, I think, is probably the way forward.
Yeah, I think that's an excellent point. Now that Conqueror has stabilized, he has held most of the Russian pressure. He got so much experience from those trades. He was able to send 9 Musketeers, and now when he gets like a good mass of 20-25 Musketeers, 2 Falcon will be incoming. And then how does Russia deal with Musk Falcon H2? But look at Opti already macroing for that Age 3. Does Opti have a dock on the left side? Yep, Opti adding in that dock. 41 villager eco would trickle with a dock. So yeah, Opti looking quite good actually. His macro is all set up. One season age 3, or even double docking both side and aging up with the messenger probably. So yeah, sorry, the exiled
Like
prince, the
Prince.
fast
He's
ager.
aging up fast. Yeah, having the dock on both sides is nice. Like you said, he has a wood trickle there that does help. And you also saw a little bit of cheeky wall from Conqueror on the north side as well, protecting the two hunts over there. There's two mines on the top. So that's the only place that he can actually expand here is on that top side of the map. Even with the berries in there. So he loses that top side of the map. He's gonna be gonna be a great problem for Conqueror here. But I don't think Optimus is going to have much of a problem dealing with that. So he has a great economy. But I think Conqueror probably wants to go H4 here. I don't know who plays Italy doesn't want to go H4. And
Yeah, that's the real question. Do you wanna come into the Musk Falk and perhaps a mercenary cavalry shipment, which Italy has, do some pressure in H3, try to wipe out the Russia forward base, or do you know just sit in your town center and try to get the Italy FI going? So yeah, ooh, nice Cossack raid on the top might catch a lot of Italy villagers. And Conqueror not reacting yet. Yeah, at least 3 villages will be going down. One already down, second going down. Okay, Conqueror pulling the other ones now.
okay, that's pretty good. He realized that this is the only place that Conqueror can go to. Let's see how many units Conqueror has here. Let's just see what he's up to. Yeah, I think he's
Yeah,
taking Mage 3, but he's making a push into the forward base of Optimus. He just
the
aged up.
problem
He
is
doesn't
the
have veteran
composition
units yet.
though. Italy does not have, sperms in H3, and no one wants to make, bows in H3. So once the falconets go down and Optimus can send his own falcons to deal with this, it'll be very hard for Conqueror to get a nice composition out here to deal with the stilet mass.
Yeah, he's checking. He just look
And look
at
at
the
that, two
falconets
falconets
coming in.
coming from the
I don't think he
blockhouse.
sees it. He sees it now.
Yeah, this is a game-changing moment. Two Falc versus two Falc. We have seen a lot of games won and lost just because of the two Falconet micro right there. Nice positioning though. Remember, Conqueror is a top treaty player. Artillery micro is his strong suit. Ooh, cavalry archers trying to go for a nice flank, but Conqueror reacting just in time. This is going to be very tight.
This is so tension. Look at how much tension it is on this falconet battle here. Very well positioned near the trees, like such a good place. Yeah, actually, the three positions actually going against Optimus right now because actually allow Conqueror to control his falconets in security. Very very interesting.
That's true.
This kind
And
of
now
thing
the
you look forward
Albanian
to.
company coming in, clutch, eight heavy cavalry, 8 mercenary
Oh
cavalry
boy.
coming in. That's going to be very good. But Optimus, I think, preempting that shipment already has made a batch of like 10 cav archers. So yeah, has the blockhouse protection, has a great economy, even going more cav archers, has decent amount of musketeers himself. So yeah, pretty close game so far. It's all about those two Falconet micro right now. Ooh, Conqueror playing with fire, maybe staying a little bit too long with Optimus get a shot. Nope.
He's gonna go for the.
Yeah,
He's
Kavach is
definitely gonna
diving
go. Oh,
slightly out of position. Kavach is going into melee mode. They have extra multiplier with artillery. Yeah, both Falconets go down, but remember, cavalry archers whittling down, and behind that we have 4 Bosniaks and 4 Stradiots that can just go in. Remember,
that's a lot of
these
cav.
Bosniaks have that lance heavy charge attack 67 with that area. Look at +10, +6 going. Wow, this is a cleanup for Conqueror in favor of Conqueror.
Oh yeah, the heavy cav just gonna do the work there. There's just way too many of them.
Yeah, look at the score gap now. Now the question is, does Optimus have enough economy to support the Remas versus Conqueror's mass right now.
Got some cav archers here to be dealing with the cav. But there's so many musketeers in the field. I mean, I think he has to be preparing a secondary base right now into his Optimus in his base. Otherwise, I don't think he can come back from this.
Yeah, and the problem is, there are no safe hunts and probably not much safe mines left. Good thing he has the water economy going. Look at that, Optimus casually floating 2k resources. I think he needs to buy like 500 wood and make drop down a couple of blockhouses. Nice catch on that
Ooh, good snare
Bosniak
as
scope.
well. Very nice.
Yeah. See, this is the problem that Italy has. They got a good trade, they cleaned Russia up, but they are behind in economy. And it's just so hard to add a good skirm unit in H3 as Italy. Can you switch to Conqueror? Is he sticking to H3 still? Yep. He is queuing. Sorry, which veteran techs are these? Veteran Pavasiers and veteran Hussars. So Conqueror is going to stick
Perhaps
this
can you
out
look
in
at the
H3.
south where there's a lot of things happening there? Thank you. There are some
Another
villagers are
another
being
fishing
raided.
boat coming in clutch, saving like
Yeah,
5
good save.
villagers. But Conqueror doing a nice job cleaning at least a few of them. So much action happening right now. Nice scouting by Conqueror. Went with his army towards the left flank, scouting with his hero on the right flank. Knows about the docks now. Knows where Russia's economy is. Queuing Pavasiers and Hussars. Even going log flume. That's a bit greedy with 38 villagers. But hey,
It's pretty
let's
useful
see.
because of the Lombards, like if they do get stuck into gathering wood, it actually is not a bad investment to just stuck a lot of wood into the Lombards. And at this point, no, Italy is pretty much untouched, and he's also on a second town center right there, and he's gonna start scaling as well. And I think
Yeah.
Russia is pretty much running out of food now. What's the Russia idea here? Yeah, he's just pumping units like non-stop. A lot of cav archers here.
Yeah, one good thing for Italy is, Optimus has not made too many strelets. So, with his current infantry mass, I think he is still okay. Oh, we have got another raid on the left flank. So much action going on here. I think another water boat came in clutch to save this. Look at this Cav Archer mass, just able to commit versus all this wall of infantry. Italy hero trying desperately to snare that and trying to kite away with the bow mask. Optimus Eco is on steroids right now.
Wow, that cav archer is doing so much work here. They do have a lot of HP as well, so it's not like all of those musketeers is really hard to. Now with the reinforcement, he decides to back out. Also getting a little bit of breathing room for Optimus here, but I think we do need those strelets in the field, but that is no sign of. Haven't seen yet the outpost somewhere anywhere.
Yeah, I think this is the first time I've seen Russia H3 without any semblance of strelets. But yeah, who am I to doubt Optimus? Again,
There we
another
go.
raid on the left. Okay, now finally batching veteran strelets. See.
Yeah, he's just gonna. He's gonna be doing Nutka as well. It seems like he's an upgrade there. I don't know if that was the Strelets or the Nutka upgrade.
Yeah. Can we look at the cards sent in by Russia and Conqueror? Have they been able to send? Oh, yeah. So the Cav combat has been sent. Opti even research the Arsenal tech. So these Cav archers are pretty strong right now. Even getting counter infantry rifling, sending Boyars now, which after the patch does buff Cav archers. So those Cav archers are going to be pretty strong. We have an engagement. Ooh, nice 3-unit composition from Conqueror now. Has a pretty healthy mass of Pavasiers now to counter those pesky Cav archers. Let's see if we can make something happen here. Even send
Yeah, he
an
doesn't have
Arsenal.
skill. And the 2 upgrades for the Pavisiers as well, so he actually can do a lot of H3 play here.
Yeah,
once
it's
you
going
start
to be
getting those
very hard
Strelets in the
to
field,
deal with the Strelets. even doing some
Yes.
cheeky musketeer raids behind Italy's base. Italy is setting up for the long haul, though. Conqueror again is a treaty player, has excellent macro, has been able to add 3 TCs now, sending in the steel bolts, macroing pretty well, adding Paviciers. I still think that Russia sort of outscales Italy and has more cost-effective units, but we'll have to see. Even adding a frigate. Wow, so we are going to see some water action also in this game.
Yeah, that's gonna be. I was going to say, I think as long as he has water, he's gonna be ahead for a long time. It's gonna take some time so those nonsense should pay off, But with the frigate here, that could really go into Conqueror's hand here, and actually decide to take this side of the map, deny the water. But let's see what Optimus is gonna do here. He saw the dock. He knows the dock is there. The frigate's just gonna pop into his face right now. Let's see. Ooh la la.
Yeah, I'd love to see a broadside attack on those Strelets.
I didn't do much. Interesting. It was a single shot. He's gonna be able to take this water side now. That's a good point. The Pavicios now with the upgrade now have more range than the Strelets, as Kraft has pointed out. Nice raid here coming from the cav archers here from Optimus, putting a lot of pressures into the villagers, and villagers count now going down to 54. It's such a hard base to get into now. Look at that. Jesus, so many buildings. That's insane.
Yeah, that's the power of the Italy Civ bonus, with the architect making all those 3 buildings. But yeah, 55 villages and Lombards and cathedrals for Italy. Optimus on 77 villagers. Will lose a few fishing boats, but we have the engagement. Hussars going in. Tarvisius trying to focus the cav archers. Musketeers coming on from the back. Even another batch of Hussars. Optimus has added some Cossacks to round out his unit composition as well. Looks like a pretty even trade so far. Conqueror has to use the range of the Paviciers and Kite. Remember, any even trade for Russia is also a good trade for Russia, given the cost efficiency of their unit and Opti's remark potential. So yeah, Conqueror has to Kite for his life, try to use his superior quality units, and try to get some good trades here.
It's a good macro for Optimus, how he saved the Cossacks. He didn't throw them at first. You see how he put them back, send them with the... I think maybe it was all into the same control key, and he just put them into the side, deal with the Hussars from Italy very, very easily. Now he has all the advantage into his side, and this is a huge
Wow.
massacre of villages here happening. This is looking really, really good for Optimus. What a comeback. Taking all of those villagers. He's on 73 villages himself and brought in Italy into like something like below 50 now.
Yeah, remember these Cossacks are jacked. They have like 2-3 improvement cards and the arsenal tech. Finally, Russia outscoring Italy, and that's not a position you'd ever want to be against a civ like Russia, which tend to underscore. Yeah, Optimus leading the game, has map control, has the better units, has the better economy. Yeah, no, this is looking like game here.
Yeah, it was really clever the way he built the cav archers mass, and he still managed to secure defense to his base with those before he go into the Strelets, so you had a more defensive approach, and then he builds up his mass pretty quickly with the 10 batch, and now he's just popping up upgraded Cossacks like that with all the upgrades, and it's just gonna take this game. And then I think staying H3 didn't really pay out for Conqueror, and I think it really went into Optimus hand here, just lingering H3. But it was a very nice play over the Pavicios. I like to see when I like the unit, so I like to see that. Unfortunately, it didn't work out for him, but I like to see the unit being played.
Yeah, I like how Conqueror played this, just being little sloppy with the some losing some extra wills in H2, but overall he had a good defense. He went H3. He had excellent micro there, sort of baited the Cav archers with the Falcon nets and just popped Albania company on all the Russian infantry mass and cleaned the Russia FP. But behind that, Optimus just had a superior economy. And after a point in the mid game, Russia just outscales. And as Garja and the chat are saying, Pavasir is just are not the best and the most cost-effective unit, especially versus Russia. But yeah, GG and Optimus leading the series 2-0.
Very nice. Yes. Gosh, it's so hot in here. Melting. How many degrees are in there for you?
Oh man, don't even get me started. It's impossible to sit without an AC. So the peak temperature is like 42 degrees Celsius. What's that
42?
in What's that in Fahrenheit for? Uh,
I have no idea.
yeah, because I know most. That's like 107 Fahrenheit for my
Yeah.
American
Yes,
buddies.
Brazil is the same, but in Brazil there is no way you don't have an air conditioner or a massive fan with throws water. It's a big thing in Brazil now. They have these big
Mhm.
fans, and then in the center of the fan there you can put like water. Maybe you can put like very cold water, and
Yeah.
then when the fans are spinning, it keeps throwing like a little bit of water, so it refreshes a lot. Even people put like this massive
Mhm.
industrial fans, like it looks like a fucking airplane fan, you know?
Oh,
Yeah,
wow.
pretty. Yeah, it's crazy. What is that noise? Ah, that's okay. I was thinking I was come get some. It was coffee or something.
Nah, my throat has finally recovered. No coughing from me. But we have game number 3. Matchup. Ooh, Optis India versus Conquerors France. It's going to be pretty exciting. The map will be Malaysia. So yeah, I'm hoping to see some docs from Opti. And let's see how Conqueror will choose to play this one.
So
What are
this is
people
a
saying in the
counter from
comments?
Optimus, right?
Exactly. So this time it was Opti's counter pick.
India against France. Interesting. Let me see the stats on this. What the data suggests. I think he's just pretty much confident on playing India, right?
Yeah, I think India is a pretty good pick on this map. You have the water buffaloes, you have water, you have a couple of safe hunts and mines, lots of options what India can do. So yeah, I really like this pick from Optimus. And remember, Optimus plays India pretty well. I remember he even won a game versus Kaiser Klein in the finals or the semi-finals of a tournament, and it was with India. So yeah, Opti feeling confident here.
Well, India has a 45% win rate versus France on the 1800 plus for 300 games. So I don't know. Huh?
Interesting statistic there. Yeah, I think it's
Did
very
you say you
hard
have
to
to
deal
go?
with the French semi-FF because the Musk Falcon timing comes in pretty fast, and India struggles to go H3 as fast as some other civs. But yeah, I think we are ready. Let's dive into game number 3 here. Kavarna, all you, man.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, this is game 3. We have Optimus 2, Conquer 0. This is the game 3. This is where Conquer will be able to claim the prize win here and maybe try a comeback onto the series. We have Conqueror playing France into the southern part of the map, and Optimus is playing India into the northern side of the map. We do have the map. What's the name of the map again?
Malaysia.
Malaysia. So yeah, Malaysia, we do have the Jesuits into the left side of the map. We have those nice conquistadors with the added damage dragoons. Onto the right side, we do have the Sophie mosques. I don't think people mostly go for those Kizibash. I think they're pretty good against killing villagers, if I'm not wrong about this. I'm not sure if that's the unit. But yeah,
Yeah, and we can already look at Opti splitting the his heroes on both sides of the map, trying desperately to find the water buffaloes or any wood treasures. Look at that, going for that wood treasure because Indian villages do cost wood, and uh, as many wood treasures as you can get, it's great for India. Even going for the corners to get the water buffaloes. Remember, even France has a native scout and a hero. So, and
look
yeah,
at that.
look at that. Good livestock micro from Conqueror there, denying 4 water buffaloes to Opti there, and going for the infamous 12 by 10 cover now.
The what?
The 12 by 10 build.
Oh yeah, that's a strong one. It doesn't. I don't think having a TP way earlier it just be easier, and then you don't want to stay around too long and stay in H2 versus India maybe. I think an FF from France is what I was expecting to see, but there was a lot of cows that Conquer denied from India, which was really nice to see.
And look at
And
that lovely 75 wood treasure coming in clutch. Will hit age
that's
2
good.
at 215. That's a pretty decent 12 by 10 timing right there.
That's true. So you're edging up with the 1210 and having like 75 food treasure and plus a bunch of cows. You couldn't go any better for Conqueror here. It's a great start.
Yeah. Meanwhile, can we look at Opti's deck? Does he have a lot of water potential in his deck? Yep, the deck name is Water 2. Not too much. We don't have that dock plus cheap board card from Opti, which Ace sent yesterday, but does have the log trickles, does have 2 caravels and 3 caravels in H3. And going to H2 with the Karni Mata. Interesting. Not opting for the Agra Fort, instead going greedy with the Kani Mata, which will boost all villager gathering around this wonder. So yeah, I know Opti is a greedy player. He likes to go for the India semi-FF builds. Let's see what he'll do. Conqueror, on the other hand, going for the 2 TPs here. Pretty greedy from him as well. I think, can we look at Conqueror if he scouted India's wonder? If this is a reaction to the Kani Mata. Yeah, I think Conqueror is feeling confident. He knows India is not going for the Agra fort, so he can get away with a little more greed as well.
Yeah, interesting. He's going for the second TP there. And he's still on a 1210. He hasn't built a house yet. Yeah, just in time for the 4 villager shipments.
Yeah, it will be
How
interesting
is
to
this
see if
market going? He already has hunting dogs. I think he's doing a church. Interesting.
yeah, I want to see if Conqueror just opts for a naked FF here, or does he even add an issue military building? I personally think India without an Agra fort cannot punish the French fast fortress here, and I think that's exactly what Conqueror is doing. 4 CDBs into 700 coin. His XP curve will be insane. He's on 2 TPs, church, getting all the market techs. So yeah, pretty good build from Conqueror. Can we take a look at Opti now? What his response will be?
Yeah, I think India is just doing his own thing, going for his own economic with the Karimata and going for an FF of his own. I wonder what he's gonna do with the diplomatic intrigue. Maybe he's gonna send more villagers on the consulate.
Yeah, most likely. Love the sacred field from Opti. That'll
Oh yeah,
be,
yeah.
yeah, I think that'll be even better than 2 trading posts in terms of XP generation. Even sending the log fluke and allying with the Ottoman consulate. Oh man, that's the classic Opti greed. But I'm a little bit worried. How does Optimus handle the Musk to Falk France pressure that's about to hit him in like 2.5 minutes though? Even queuing in some Rajputs to potentially burn down the trading posts.
Correct. Yeah,
Um,
definitely going for those. Yeah, trying to deny some of the outposts from Conqueror. because he knows he's gonna go in H3, and the more experience he has, the more units he'll be able to send. So trying to deny that early on, that's when you're gonna go. It's a huge.
Yeah.
Sorry,
No,
one second.
market though from Opti.
Come guys, I'm just mute 2 minutes. I'll be right back.
Yeah, do your thing. I'll hold the fort. So Ottoman villagers coming in from the consulate with a 300 export. Kani Mata, Sacred Field. Optic going full on greed here. Even the log flume big trickle. 5 Rajputs working down on their left trading post. Even sending some ASAP from the Ottoman consulate just to get some extra siege. Anyways, I think the big good unit. Look at that Rajput chasing the native scout across the Malaysian field. Can we look at Conqueror? I think he's already clicking up to age 3 by this time. Yep, he's already reached age 3. 8 skirmishes in. He even skipped 700 wood. So he does not have any military infrastructure up. Now the first stable going down. 8's come into 1k wood. Conqueror wants to hit hard. He knows he has scouted what Opti is up to. He knows Opti is greeding. He just wants to 8's come to sort of deal with the ASAPs and the Rajputs, and he'll try to push ASAP behind all this. So I think Opti has the greedier build. He has the better eco. India as a civ does outscale France. But Conqueror has this, 90 seconds to 2-minute timing window in early H3, where, it might get a little tough for Opti to hold. Yeah, welcome back, Avarna. So Conqueror went for 8 skirms into 1k wood. Meanwhile, Opti is going full greed and semi-FFing behind this himself.
Nice. So here comes the Dragoons, who got some skirms in the field. Aging up with?
I think it has to be the Charminar Gate, yeah. So that'll give him 1 free Mahout on age up. A pretty late market though from Optimus. Slightly questionable, but hey, who am I to, question Opti's India magic? But yeah, there's the first unit streaming in. Let's see if we can do some damage.
Does have some ASAPs that they do very well versus Dragoons, but not against the skirmishers. I mean, yeah, you gotta capitalize on that early FF power with this Skirm comp here from Conqueror. We do have the Rajputs managed to take the TP, nice to see. Yeah, he does have a lot of investment he had with the Sacred Fields as well.
Getting caught out, not what he wants. ASAP Rajput's trying to come in, but nice micro there by Conqueror.
Yeah, well spotted there. The Gurkha coming out of the barracks. So what do you do now as Optimus? Do you go for Howden? Do you want to send the Yurumi?
This is always such a tricky position for India because all these unit shipments, the Howdas, the siege elephants, they cost food, and once you hit age 3, you have to macro for veteran upgrades. It's always like a rock paper scissors game, the shipment to send, because denying that villager, nice kill by Conqueror. Yeah, I was saying if Conqueror sends 2 Falconets right now, Optimus has to send siege elephants to deal with that. But if he goes for 3 cuirassiers, then those 2 siege elephants are basically useless. So it's always very tricky for which shipment to go for.
Right. I mean, this is probably the best game that Conqueror has been played so far in the series, and I think he's doing pretty well so far. And he has all the map for himself. He got Optimus Prime is in the corner, and Optimus is just buying his time. I think that he has a plan to have like strong units coming in, loads of Dragoons. So that's going to be really nice to deal with some like the Mahouse if they come out as well. It's just building that big mass of Dragoons.
Ooh, second TC by France. Just wanted to point that out in the mid map. I think he sent used for the 1k wood for that.
And that's huge for France. I mean, if France managed to stay like for 8 minutes, 5 minutes or so with the 2 town centers here, it's gonna be super ahead into this game. And I don't know how Optimus can come back from that.
Yeah, right now though, Optico going bird, all that XP from killing that trading post from the Sacred Field um, is doing pretty well. He has able to, I think he has been able to take veteran Gurkha, even made the Mansabdar Gurkha from the consulate. Ooh, 5 cure patch coming in. Does Conquer want to take this? I think there is enough anti-cap there for Opti to scare him away. Uh, and Optimus actually leading in score, which is pretty surprising to me, given the fact that he lost like 3, 4 villagers, was idle for quite a bit.
True.
But yeah,
I still guess the Carnimata and the Tricos are doing great here. But I think this France is just going to go away more and more. And the Cuirassiers is going to be a great tankish here. Going to be able to deal with the Gurkha very well. Quite enough Dragoons to deal with a single Mahout. But I think Optimus probably might be sending more Mahouts at this point. Is he Howda? Ah, interesting. So to deal with the... So he's trying to find a way to deal with the Cuirassiers instead.
yeah. Do remember that Indian skirmishers are stronger than your normal European skirmishers. Is going in mining, and the mines causing a lot of pathing issues, and that's not a fight you want to take with the chokes. And there comes the 2 Howdas, so the Kurosawa threat is eliminated. Opti finally getting some of those market techs that he was missing. It's always so awkward to macro with India in these sort of builds. Going pretty heavy on food gathering, so I'm assuming the next shipment will be the 3 Mahouts or even potentially the 2 siege elephants to counter the 2 falconet play. Yeah, we'll have to wait and see.
Yeah, Conqueror is just scaling at this point, and he's being very disciplined. You know, I think he's controlling his units very well, and putting India into that corner. India doesn't expand on the map, managed to contain India into that corner of the map, and the longer it goes, I think it goes just gonna go into Conqueror's favor here, even with the extra villages from the shipments that India gets. France villages just worth way more.
Yeah, that's true. And all the map control that Conqueror has established right now, I think Optimus is on a timer. In a minute or so, his hunts under his TC will run out, the mines will run out, and then there goes the Karnimata bonus as well. So, doing some damage with the Falconets. Let's see how Opti reacts to this. Will he go for the 3 Mahos and try to, Z-move everything? Or will he go for the safe play and go for the Siege Elephants? Ooh, Maho Lancer it is. And is he making Howdas? Yeah, he's patching Howdas on the stable. They are just Dragoons on steroids.
Yeah, I think he's just gonna wait for those units, and that's gonna be his big push, and to try to come out of the corner. And he has to do it. The hunts are draining out. Like the last mine is about to go out as well. Some French explorers are actually taking the hunt away from India, and he's slowly trying to
Conquer pulling
take
out
those
all the
resources as well.
tactics to secure a win.
Oh,
in
there's a
this
lot of
game.
villages
A
that have been
will pull
donated now.
from
Here comes a
India.
push.
Yeah, take it away, Kavarna.
Yeah, it just comes the Mahouts onto the Falconets. A lot of villagers coming forward, and then this is all in here from Optimus. A lot of action going through. The Cuirassiers have been caught up by the Howda, and I think we should have a lot of. What's the unit again? The Mahouts is still alive. Joe Mahouts, if they connect with the skirmishers, they're just gonna melt here.
Wow, great
Of
game
the
from India.
villagers, Jesus, so good.
Yeah, I think Optimus was stuck into a corner and he had to pull out all the stops and he's getting a big clean here. And remember, all these Howdas, they have great seals given that they're elephants. So they'll be able to clean the TC and the French infrastructure also. I think Conqueror overcommitted with the flags. And look at that Rumilio trade in the base. And now it's just too much stuff from India at this point. India has stabilized, they can gather back on the map, they have the overwhelming military advantage, they have better and stronger units with the Wonders, with the Consulate, and yeah, looking like another W for Optima here.
Yeah, France. Can you look at the France quickly? Because I wonder how much he can. He's not even producing units at this point. He's just making more villagers. He has. Yeah, he's just giving up. He was just trying to see if he could do anything about it, and there was nothing coming through. I mean, just an outstanding performance by Optimus throughout. Jesus, he just took the fight that he knew that he would win, and then that big pop of my heart and how he managed to do it. And the villagers, I think he lost about 20 villagers on that push. Can you just look at the last push? I think he lost about 20 villagers there. It was on 40, maybe it was less. It was about 10, but it's still like it was just clever. And then France lost a bunch of views as well. I didn't even see that happening.
Yeah, and I think even despite all the India greed, Conqueror was able to outgather India. Conqueror had a very nice build, that greedy naked FF. Not sure about the decision of that 1K wood in the town center. Even some people like Jerry Muno and Haza pointing in the chat, just what if Conqueror went for something like 3 Cuirassiers or 2 Falconets earlier, and the push would have been way more potent there. Opti had donated some villagers. Opti did donate a couple of Gurkhas for free. So the early pressure by Conqueror was working. But yeah, I think the push was a little bit slow because he spent so much on the second TC. And that was just masterful defense by Opti. Very well handled right there.
Yeah, that's a good point. Sometimes I do have that issue myself. When should I actually scale in town center wise? If I should just do more military. If you're just gonna push, there's no point creating more town centers, right? Because then it's something that you could even invest in the military. Just maybe do a bit more houses, or maybe another stable income with bigger batches of cuirassiers, and completely try to get into India's base. He probably was. I think if he just stayed a little bit outside a little bit longer, he would have starved him completely as well. He just didn't have enough mass. I think the dragoons wasn't not enough to deal with the Howdah, and I don't think he had many cuirassiers either. And I wonder if he could have just left the falconets behind without getting snared and just move out with the units. Maybe he could have a chance still to be in the game, but it's hard to say. Sometimes you just managed to get committed into the fights with the villagers that are coming for free. You just killing these villagers for free, and then you just start firing, and then suddenly all the units are already there in your face, and there's no time to react no more. It was interesting.
Yeah. So yeah, I think we can go back to the loading screen. 3-0 for Optimus. Has been dominating so far. But I think last 2 games have been a little still a bit of a back and forth, where Conqueror did have an advantage during the mid game. But yeah, Optimagic proving too much. Uh, oh, very interesting question in the chat actually. Jab John asking, have I been to any of the Indian wonders? I have actually. So Taj Mahal is actually it's actually pronounced
That
Taj
is
Mahal.
sick.
So one of the wonders of the world. Great place to go. I have also been to the Red Fort. I think when you go to Agra Fort in H3, it's called the Red Fort. That's in my own city. Charminar Gate also I've seen from afar. Never been inside. And what else is there? The Kali Mata. I'm not sure what actual wonder or place is Kali Mata is based on. Pretty sure I haven't been to that one. But yeah, that rant aside, ready for game 4. And what a matchup it is.
Okay, so this time we have a counter pick from Optimus. Is it the other way around? Optimus is counter picking now, right? So he won, and then that was a counter with Italy. Then was an India counter, and now is the Ottoman counter. Okay, Ottoman. So Optimus picked first this time.
Yeah,
So
Optimus picked first. Yeah, I think Ottoman is one of the standard counter picks versus Spain. A lot of players I've seen do go for the Ottoman versus Spain, the classic double Janissary rush. I think Ottoman FF also does okay versus Spain FF. But let's see how Conqueror decides to play this. The map is Nile Valley.
Nile Valley.
Hmm.
Actually,
Yep, I
Otto
think
does good versus Otto. Otto does good versus Spain. 56% win rate.
ooh, those statistics coming in handy right there. But I agree. I think British and Ottoman are, I think, the top counter picks versus Spain. I think Germany also can do pretty well, but I think Brits and Ottoman are definitely easier to play versus Spain. But again, that's when Spain plays the standard FF, and I have seen one too many Opti games where goes for a greedy H2 Spain, and that meta can throw even some of the best players off their game. So yeah, let's see how they'll go.
Spain versus Germany, I think it's not an easy for Germany because of the rods, no? Just can't be. It must be super difficult. I don't think Spain has too much trouble because of the rods. But let's see. Nile Valley here. The two fox. That's true. Yeah, that you have to deal with the fox. All right, so we are into game 4 here of the series. I'll let come get the game started for you guys.
Thanks a lot, covered now. Are we ready? Yeah, we are here, ladies and gentlemen, into game number 4 of this Play All 5 series. We have in the color red, spawning in the 9 o'clock position of the map because I always forget what east or west is. I'm sorry. But we have Optimus playing the Spanish civilization, and we have his opponent, Conqueror, counterpicking with the Ottoman Empire, spawning on the right side of the map, already going for a mosque and going for the early trade post. So electing not to chop for the house. So I think it's going to be a mosque, a trading post into a capitalism sort of build. So yeah, we'll have to wait and watch. Opti, on the other hand, stopped for a treasure on his way to the trading post, putting down a trading post himself. So yeah, pretty standard starts from both the players so far. What are your thoughts on this map, Kavarna? I personally really like this map.
Yeah, people don't like it. I actually like it. I don't hate the map. I don't see any problems with it. I like the Berbers. I think they have some units there. I like that you have some. You have two TPs in front of your base, like outside your main base. So it's gonna. You can actually. You have to defend that, so it's not like behind your base where it's super easy to just go and boom with that. This one you have to defend, so I like that too. Yeah, you can also always like I was talking about this with Lion, or not with Lion. I was talking with what's his name? I got the guy that was No, it's the guy that I was casting yesterday when Lion left. But it doesn't matter. It's I was talking with someone yesterday, and then it's how the map is very like you have this kind of hill, and then there's only a few entrances in there, so it's really hard to get into someone's base. But also, if you decide to stay there, and if you don't wall or anything like that, there's no hunts, so you have to get out of your base at the same time. So that's why I don't hate the map myself. I think it's well thought out, but it's probably
I also
hard to play. So hard to play.
That's true. I think you do get a little bit of more longer games given the rush distance, and as you said, it's harder to push into those valleys. Just to point out, man, Conqueror's treasuring gathering this game has been insane. I think he got like 120 food in worth in treasures and 50 coin. So he's already almost halfway aging, while Spain is even yet to click H2. So pretty strong start for Conqueror. Not going for the capitalism, actually. He went for 3 villagers and is now electing to save the shipment for H2. Even has Silk Road in his deck, so I think Conqueror is sort of a couple of years behind on the meta, and we'll have to wait and watch what he'll do. He does have all the H2 and H3 cards he needs. Could go for the classic Jan Rush, could go for FF. Let's see what he chooses to do. Meanwhile, let's switch to Spain. What's Opti up to? Opti went for 3 villagers, capitalism. The deck is called BB. Has lots of H2 cards, has lots of H3 cards. No Spanish gold in his deck though. So I am sensing, Kavarna, I am sensing an H2 player here, or at least maybe a semi-FF style. He does have that H2 card, which makes your age up much cheaper. Yep, this
And
one.
and
So
what's next
that
to
could
that? I
come
think
into
it's the
play.
Conquistador card, right? It ships a little bit. Reconquista, yeah. He ships 1 Conquistador for H3 Archaic Infantry. You have lost. So if you just go for something like Bow Pike and start losing a lot of those Archaic, I think the Archaic unit stands for the Bow Pike, and then he's just gonna get one. Huh? And gold? Oh, but the little pucks and explosive. Okay, Rodlers also counts Archaic unit, so the more he stays in H2, that card's gonna have great value. So I think you're correct. That's
Can we
probably
look
an
at the
H2
middle of the
card.
map? Is that an FP from Ottoman? Yep, there it is, ladies and gentlemen. The classic 2 racks Jan opening from Conqueror. I think Opti would have scouted that. Can you look at his LOS?
Yeah, that's gonna be important to know if he knows about this.
Yeah. Okay, I think that's Mother Nature. You need to go to Opti.
One more, yeah.
Yep, Opti knows what's coming. And look at that, electing to go for H2. And what tech is he researching? The Sudanese Red Sea trade. So that will help him get a couple of buildings. What? Will
He
Opti
gets
go for
two.
outpost?
He got two of them. He can probably do like a barracks and a foundry. I don't know if he can do foundries with that. Let's see.
It would be so high IQ. So Opti actually aged up with 2 villagers and
Oh
two
no,
two cons.
that's Spain.
Let
Sorry, my
let's
bad.
see him on route 2 outposts. Wow.
Oh, he's
Wow, wow,
outpost. Oh,
wow.
there you go.
Yep. And there it is. We have found the counter build. But will Janissaries get a big siege in? Remember? Yep, I think this outpost will go down. That's so unlucky for Optimus right there. That's so unlucky. If that outpost went up, that would have been so big. Look at that. Going for both, even sending in the town militia. Hmm.
Yeah,
Do
he's
you
gonna
think this
need
is a
all help that he
slight
can get against
overreaction
Janissaries.
here?
That's gonna be interesting match, man. Like this, look, his batch of 10 coming. He also has 700 food on the deck, and these guys have so much HP here. I think Spain should be able to do great here with the crossbows. They also have the dogs. There's an
The 3
outpost
Delhi
there.
coming in, the 3 Delhi coming in.
Oh, the 3 delis gonna hurt a
Optimus
lot.
has enough for Minutemen here. Yup, calling in the Minutemen. He needs to hold that.
Yeah, he's okay. He has a Tom militia as well, so that's gonna hurt. It's gonna kill the cav pretty fast.
Minutemen
But
going
I don't
really to spare
those
the Delhi.
villagers, I don't
10
think can
both
afford that.
coming in, but Jan's walking forward, doing what they do best. Town militia getting some work in, Outpost getting some work in, but remember, Janissaries have lots of HP. Another nice patch rolling in. But yeah, I think Opti has managed to hold this. Another
Yeah,
batch
easily.
of exposed
Easily. With
will
Tom
come in.
militia, the crossbows, the outpost. He's chilling. He's not even worried. And he's still gathering, you know, even just in front of him. He's not disrupting much of his economy. I think he only has 10 villages in the town center, you know. So he's doing pretty good now. He's gonna lose a villager now. Let's see.
Yeah, Opti playing with fire here,
Maybe not.
but excellent micro on his villagers. Not. Ooh, will the first villager about
Yeah,
to
it's
go
gonna take one
down?
villager.
Yeah,
But it's okay. I don't think it's a big deal.
true, true.
He just
And
managed to kill like
he-
20 Janissaries or something like that. So just he's
yeah,
chilling.
and I think behind this he has 23 villagers, capitalism, market techs, and remember the 3 Delhi situation has been dealt with. Ottoman is just on 1 trading post, 18 villagers. It does have steel traps though, so that's something. But yeah, Conqueror will soon run out of steam once these big crates have run out, and Spain has a better eco. But right now we have another big batch of Jans. Nice bow split there by Opti, kiting, getting some good value. And remember, Kavanagh, you were talking about that Conquistador card. I think
Yeah.
after losing all these bows, he'll manage to get like a big batch of those.
Yeah, the thing is, I don't think he wants to lose those packs though. Losing the packs is gonna really hurt him in case they have like a transition there. So yeah, I think it's kind of okay to lose some of the crossbows in the process, and then you just gotta. Yeah, that's the good thing about having the 8 shipment of bikes. Now he can just do. He gathered the wood. He can just make crossbows and just be able to secure his base with these.
Yeah.
And the Pax is going for the TP there, I think.
But we have another batch of Jans. All the bows have been dealt with. Spanish Eco now getting idled. Not sure how well Rotteleros are going to do versus all this pressure. But I think that town militia, can you look at the town center attack? Is it like 135? It is. So it is two shorting Jans, which is pretty useful here. Yeah, I think still a close game. But yeah, with the 7 rods, a batch of 10 bows, town center fire, tower fire, I think Opti should be able to stabilize here. Even getting the villager techs, Rotteleros going in, probably will put them on cover mode. Bows firing in from the back. A nice micro there from Conqueror, trying to kite out of the range of TC and trying to micro the rods. But I just think this is just enough stuff from Opti here to hold. And there comes the Conquistador
Optimus
shipment.
was ready for this. He has everything to play into H2 gameplay here.
Pikey raid, Ace would be proud.
Accurate. Accurate, that's funny.
Yeah, but actually that gives some good information to Optimus. Now he knows that Ottoman is adding Abyss gunners. Uh, so yeah.
Yeah,
But
look, he's gonna find those
Ottoman
villages in the
has
mine. Probably. Oh no.
So Ottoman has lost their trading posts. They're only on 22 villagers. Has Ottoman been able to send 5 villagers yet? Yeah, 5 villagers already
Yeah.
sent. Most of the big trade shipments have been sent. Yeah, I think Ottoman is running out of steam here, Kavarna. Not sure how.
Yeah, even out of shipments as well. I mean, he has a 7 in zaps, and then the 700, 600 wood, and then after that, that's it. And when it comes to Spain, he still has a Conquistador card that's going to really help. So once he sends that, he's also doing Hussars, and that's going to really be clutch here. Look, he has 9 Conquistadors. Once he sends that, it's GG. I think he's going to send that now. As soon as he sees the Abyss, he's probably going to go into that.
Yeah,
Also, he has a 700 coin.
yeah. And
Allow him to do more
remember,
and more Hussars.
what's the best counter to Abyss gunners in H2? That's town center fire. And he
That's
does
true,
have
yeah.
he does have the card. And wow, the town militia card will I think one shot Abyss? No, I think
No.
actually they have the range resist, so they barely one shot Abyss. But yeah, still.
He still has to actually control the fire, because the fire is going into the Janissaries. There we go. Finally into the Abyss. He's gonna lose another Abyss probably.
Another
Just
pikey
about.
ray?
He does.
What's all the
Oh boy.
Ooh,
We just missed
lovely
his
catch
match
on the
here.
Abyss.
Yeah, he took the outpost, but at what cost, you know? And he lost like a bunch of Abysses in there. We do have
Exactly.
a raid of by
I think the
disrupting the
pikey raid
backline.
just distracted Conqueror enough that he lost those Abyss gunners. Now the Usops will catch the Hussars.
He got Minutemen for those bikes.
Wow.
Yeah, he's just over macroing this APM now. And if it's when he sends the conquistadors, how many conquistadors gonna be now? 9 still? You sent them already. Oh, he sent them already.
Yeah,
Oof.
that's pretty solid. And remember, these guys have that area of damage, so they'll even do pretty decent versus Janissaries. Actually, Azaps will counter these conquistadors, but I still think there's just too much stuff, and the defensive advantage that Opti has is just too much right now.
He's running out of food onto this corner here. I think he sent a couple of his stuff to the top, or is that the pikes, or what is that on the top of the map for Optimus? See, a couple. That's the pikes on the left side of that. Is that the villagers on the hunts? Okay, that's fine.
Yeah, Optimus being very, very active on the map. Meanwhile, Conqueror's composition is very immobile. He knows he can't sort of bleed those Aegis gunners through TC fire, so it's going to be pretty hard to push in Opti's base. But he knows he's on a timer here. He needs to do some damage. He's already capped at 25 villagers. Okay, finally getting the mouse tech now.
That's
But yeah,
good.
wow, just being so annoying with these raids, Opti.
Well, if you're a Conqueror, you know that Optimus has to be on the top of the map. But he's doing some damage here with the housing. But I think Optimus can take this fight with no problem. The downside fire, here comes the snaring with the rods.
Yeah.
And the Hussars just come with the more snaring. There's a lot of crossbows here into fire. And the Conquistador is going to do so much area damage. And Conqueror just calls it straight away. Once he saw all the Conquistadors, he said, "Man, there's no chance I'm going to take this any further." It was a very well executed push from Conqueror, but I think Optimus was ready. He had the right deck. He knew what he was facing here. For somehow he had the Conquistador card. You don't see that card often in Spanish decks, so very nice to see. It was very enough build here for Optimus. Playing at the Prime. That's what they called him, the Optimus Prime. He's playing so well in this tournament.
Exactly. I mean, such a 200 IQ move. He knows the opponent has counterpicked. He scouted the two racks rush. He adapted it into that sort of H2 play. And imagine if Optimus did not lose that first outpost from the Red Sea card, then this game could have been over even long ago. But despite losing that outpost, his build was so good and his play style was so appropriate here. He was still able to comfortably defend, dealing with the infamous 2 Jan rush, and yeah, securing that win. And seeing that 9 cost Conquistador card was just the icing on the cake.
Yeah, had he gone for an Falconet push here, I think Conqueror would have taken this. That's the thing. Like sometimes what if you see like you're trying to do a strategy and you see the opponent's deck has the Conquistador card and he has a lot of potential H2 gameplay. How do you change what you're playing in game? Like after, because you're sort of like aging up before Optimus would be, so you have to sort of adapt mid 6 minutes in game, 5 minutes in game, and say, well, you know what? I'm not gonna push anymore. I just might change this Janissary rush and go into an FF. But I think he has to just read the deck very well. Had he done that, he would be fine. And it was big brains with the outpost, with going with the Berbers there. Not the Berbers, it's the other one, right? Sudanese, yeah. Yeah, if we're going with the outpost from the Sudanese, great knowledge of the map. I mean, well played, Optimus. Nothing else to say.
Yeah, just overwhelming Conqueror in this series. 4-0 to Optimus. Can we go to the loading screen, Craft? And we can see what awaits us in game number 5. Let's look at some of the comments. Baron explaining what's at stake here. Pretty interesting to see. I think this is one of the closest, if not the closest EPL we have had so far. Even a couple of wins here and there will change the standings between the four teams and will ultimately decide who gets to go into the final there in the next week. So yeah, pretty interesting.
Right. So,
Tabin saying 2 racks chance always seem to do well in Tony games. Opti proving us wrong there.
so we have Mandarin Duck Squad MDS with 3540. Somali Kabuli Gaming SKG 3837. So that's the. I just can't see the who belongs to which kind of team.
Yeah, so Conquer is in CMC, Curacao Management Company. Optimus is in the Hudson Bay Bigs, HBB.
Mm-hmm. Which one Conquer is in? The SKG?
No, the CMC. I think that's Kaiser's
CMC.
team,
Okay.
the Curacao Management Company. And Optimus is in the Hudson Bay Bigs.
I see. So yeah, the CMC really needs a win, right?
Yeah, definitely.
Yeah, funny enough, I couldn't see on the website, like there's no way to click on the teams and just see the list of members. That would have been helpful.
That is true. That is true. I think Baron is, gatekeeping all the statistics, but helping us out in the chats with a helpful comment with the scorecard. But yeah.
Crafty, would you mind updating the score? We are on 0-4 now. Thank you.
So yeah, the more victories that HPB gets in this series, the burden will be higher and higher on Psionic and Julian K later. So, and those
See.
matchups are going to be so packed. Psionic has to face Rohbrot, and Julian K has to face Boy. So, definitely will be pretty tough to get like a 4-1 or a 5-0. So yeah. Meanwhile, we have the fifth game, ladies and gentlemen. The matchup is Conquerors USA versus Optimus's Ottoman this time. What's the map again? The map is Hungarian Plains. Interesting.
US and A, yes, it's a nice. I like. They have Ottomans. And Optimus for the Ottomans. It's kind of hard to say. Optimus almost saying Ottomans. Interesting picks here. So with so who is counter picking now? I just get this wrong. So this is counter pick. This is counter pick. So now is the auto counter
it's
pick
Optimus.
versus USA.
Optimus gets to counter pick, yeah.
Correct.
So
Yes.
Optimus chose to go Ottoman versus USA. I mean, Witzel's actually does counter USA. So yeah, there's that. But yeah, we could get a tongue teaser going. Opting for Ottoman.
What's the map?
I think we can make it a little harder, but yeah, Hungarian Plains.
Oh yeah. Let's go. We got the European settlements, the Habsburg and the Yeglian. Outlaws Hadjuk or in the Krabats. So I think the USA can actually use the Crabats here. Remember when the Crabats were so broken and they have to nerf that?
Oh yeah, good old days. I still remember when, when you moved your cursor over the Krabat unit, it literally said a unit that's good against every other unit. Yep. Uh, great design, DU devs, in an RTS game, which is supposed to be about, tactics and counter and counter units. But yeah.
Yeah, that's one of the things I don't enjoy is having like heavy cav that has range, that sort of things. When you break the patterns heavily, I don't appreciate that. It comes into game knowledge, but I think it's nonsense. I mean, you're just confusing everyone, and then you lose a match or another, and sometimes you can lose 3-4 matches. You don't even realize that the thing is heavy cav, unless you're going to sort of like study mode and you're a pro and you have to do it, put your time into this. I think it just has to be easy to learn the game, not make it harder. If someone is shooting in a musket on top of a cav, I expect that to be a dragoon, no matter what. And when I see that as a heavy cav, I just think it's dumb.
Do you remember those native units, the mounted infantry? It looks like a dragoon, but it's actually a skirmishers. But you can even change modes. So, yeah.
Yes, and then you have
Anyways, I think we have the
skirmishers that
first game
run.
closed.
Skirmishers that run in melee, like Yurumi, that sort of thing. It's just this kind of things I do not appreciate in the game.
That is true.
Yeah, no, I get it. Even though he's a mercenary card that you're saying, it's confusing and it doesn't help.
I think if we
Anyways,
get a stream ranting about, what we don't like about DE, it's going to be like a 10-hour long stream.
I don't know. I like the game. I like the game. The most of things. It's just some small things that are just like. I guess there's a lot of people that hate the game way more than I do. And I mean, some bits and pieces. I mean, my list is very small. But anyway, we got the next game, guys. This is the last game of the series. So just let's hump into that craft. Let's go.
Yeah, go for it, Kavan.
Alright, so ladies and gentlemen, here we are into come on a second, let me see if I can't see that we transitioned yet. Have we transitioned? Alright, sorry for that. So ladies and gentlemen, welcome. This is the last game of the 5 matches between Conqueror and Optimus. We do have Conqueror playing in the USA in the color blue onto the south side of the map, opening up the TP early on. Hopefully, going to be seeing some Chinese immigrants here. And on the top side of the map, on the color red, we have the Ottomans also opening up with the TP there. The church is already in place, already chopped for the house. And here we are in last game. So
Yeah, I'm very hyped.
Yeah.
Sorry, I love to see Conqueror get on the scoreboard. Yeah, sorry, go on.
Yes, definitely. Definitely we need that. At least one. I don't want to say how we say in Brazil, but you gotta take the finger off, man. You gotta take one home for the boys.
I think the only clean sweeps we have seen in this EPL series is Julian K. Julian K sweeping Warsaw 5-0 and even the mighty Frontline 5-0. So Julian looking in tremendous form. We'll have to wait and watch to see his game versus Keter Boy. And in fact, Keter Boy also did the third sweep versus Daniel. So yeah, other games have been so close. I don't think we have had so many 3-2s in EPL till date. But yeah, back to this final game between Conqueror and Optimus. Looks like Chinese immigrants into Scottish Highlanders, the standard USA shenanigans with the 10x10. Already securing 3 trading posts. We'll probably go for the natives. What natives do we have on this map? I always tend to forget.
We have the Hajduks and the Krabats.
Ah, okay.
Yeah, that's outlaws, right? But what is that? Oh, sorry. Yeah, the settlements are different. Yeah. That's the outlaw. Sorry, my bad on that one. That's if you do the taverns, right? Yeah, the Hajuks and the Krabbers are the outlaws, and the settlements are the Habsburgs and the Jagiellons. There we go. Yeah, so we do have the Scots in play. We are sending the 2 tavern shipments, extending 2 build limits for them, with a 10-10 aging up with the church build, right? Probably. Yeah, also has that's Somali. What's the Seminole scouts as well? We saw that being played very often. And also you got the 3 outposts. That's probably going to be his next shipment there. That allows him to create maybe a church and maybe 2 more taverns as well. And then the more buildings you have a church, you have settlements, trade posts. You're gonna get 1 Highlander, Scottish Highlander, Scottish mate. There you go. Probably.
Yeah, I think
we
you
go.
need to start sort of what do you call this? Uh, but you should do some meme voice acting on your channel for sure. I'll be watching for sure. But meanwhile, can we have a look at Opti? What is Opti up to? I think he knows what's going on. One sort of suboptimal thing about this build is you can see it coming from a mile away. You know the outposts are being made. You know the native TPs are being taken. So we have a H2 Ottoman play in reaction. Barracks going down, 700 words coming in. I think he's going to go for the Jan Abus here. Opti doing another 200 IQ move, stealing 1 trading post from his opponent there, which is the House of Jacadian. Can we see Opti's deck? Does he have any sort of native cards? Or okay, no native cards. That trade post is
No
being
church
taken
card.
slowly to deny the. Yep, no church card either to deny.
Because Nizams could
conquer.
actually be a good counter play. I think the Nizams do pretty well into this, but it might be too slow as well, as Kraft has been pointing out. But at the same time, I really like the positioning of the barracks here, denying the placements here for Conqueror.
Ooh, and we have the first Mubir. I think that's the Ottoman spy. Will
There he
do
is.
so well versus the mercenaries and versus the USA hero there.
He's gonna definitely take the explorer. That is taking out the vision. He also has the flag as well. So actually taking down the explorer is gonna be huge for him. That's pretty good.
Yeah, and that's like
Maybe
9
one or 2
XP
shots is gonna be
also.
down. Second shot now. 3 shots because USA has a lot of more HP, right? For some reason. There we go. He's definitely a general.
Yeah, Washington and Trump would be proud. So, classic Jan Avis build for Opti here. Can we look at Conqueror's POV there? Now he knows. Does he know what's coming? His hero had died, so he's going for natives and Highlanders, as his deck suggests. So no surprise there. So
Baron
how
von
many Highlanders does he
Zoom.
get? I think that should be like 8 or 10. Wow. Okay. Oh man, that is just so insane. I think that's even better than an H3 shipment. I mean the H3 Highlander shipment, you get like 9 or 10 of them, but they cost like 1k coin. Here he's getting
And
like twice the value. But anyway, that's the first engagement. Highlanders will do beautifully versus these Janissaries. Now Abe is coming in to reinforce. Ooh, Abe is coming a little too far. Okay, but Conqueror not committing there. Nice micro there by Opti. Waiting for another batch of those Cav Archer from the natives. Maybe he'll try and snare the Abus gunners with them. Conqueror definitely does not want Opti to get a critical mass of Abus because then the Highlanders will just be sort of useless. So let's see if he tries to add any Cav or how does he bolster his mass to deal with the Abus here.
Yeah, I was really expecting that cow to be melee because he could have snared that. So I think that's what the Highlanders need. He needs something to snare with, but so many units already from Optimus there, forcing Conqueror to fall back. And the Dragoon Mask comp here is a bit weird. Is that just a Dragoon or what does he have? The
So they
mounted one. It's
actually
just
do well
Skirm
with the
on horses,
Janissary.
right?
Exactly.
Oh boy. I
Opti
love this.
even macroing for an H3 behind all this. Oh, wow. So what is he aging up with? Is this the Excite Prince? Oh, the marksman. So that's 4 Abus gunners. Interesting. Opti already has a shipment, but yet still choosing to age slow just to get 4 more Abus out. I think his plan is to keep massing Jan Abus in transition and go with the marksman age up, which is fair. Has secured 2 TPs. Is going H3, has market tax, had sent the 5 villagers, so his economy is not too bad either. What can Conqueror do at this point? Conqueror is pulling back, finally catching that pesky Mubir in the corner of the map. Yeah, so his
And what
Conqueror
is
is just
USA's up
trying
to?
to
Is
age.
USA aging now?
No, I think he's massing. Ooh, even sending the native treaties to get like a big mass of units. So I think it's definitely go time for Conqueror. He needs to
And
make something happen. This is his timing. This is the window where Ottoman has invested 2,200 resources into going H3. So he needs to do some damage, and he needs to do it right now.
yeah, I thought if he had the Shocker Riders before, he probably could have cleaned up as well those units. Yeah, it felt like. But he definitely
Yeah,
will be able to take his forward base now with the units that he has. And there's nothing the Optimus can do about it. And he has 2 shipments, he can send back to back, but I don't think he can take this fight in any sort of way.
yeah. Why is Opti trying to commit there? I think he wanted to just pull those 5 reinforcing batch of 5 Janissaries from there.
Yes, exactly. He's just trying to secure the pop. Very, very clever.
That's pretty good from Opti. Now finally, I think Conqueror is able to get that extra native TP. Opti going 1k wood behind that. He knows he has lost the barracks. Wait, what? Oh, he used the native big button to equalize his resources to get enough resources for veteran neighbors. I mean, man,
Just before.
IQ's game, IQ never ceases to surprise me. I was just about to say is Optimus Macroad, what will Spahis do in the situation? But there he pulls out. But there's the push coming in, 6 Sabers guns coming from the TC, Bashi Buzik's coming in. Feels like too much fast from USA though, but great position for the Abus, tucked behind the Janissary wall and the houses. And remember, these Pasha Bazooks have multiplier against the Highlanders. Still a lot of stuff for the US. But I think with the 6 Avis gunner shipment, Opti will stabilize.
Such a good positioning, like everything is right into place. The Able shooting fiercely at the back at the goons, and the Musketeers managed to deal with the Shocker Riders, and now he just has Musketeer versus Abises, and he's in Asia ahead. He has no problem staying here. He lost a couple of villages there, not gonna lie. He lost about 5-6 villagers here. It's definitely gonna hurt the Ottomans. But he still has the option to send wood, maybe scale a little bit out of that. But I wonder if he's gonna go into some sort of skirm goon comp here instead of going for Janissaries. I think that's gonna be pretty good.
What is US's follow-up here? Nowhere near close to aging. Does have 26 villagers, couple of trading posts, sending 700 coins, sending
Hamiltonian.
that's the Hamiltonian economics. This gives you free market tax. But yeah, I think he is committed to H2. I'm not sure if that's the right play here. Lovely defense by Optimus. Now sending 8 Janissaries behind all this. And yeah, Optimus will establish his presence back on the map. Still a close game though. I think Optimus is in the lead, but still a close game. Ooh, Conqueror trying to get some raids in the TC, but getting caught by the batch of Abus gunners. And Opti's even
Oh, he's going there with the
getting into the
Latar.
Latar. Opti's unit control in this game has been absolutely majestic. The Abus Micro snaring with the Vandip Tatar, controlling that Mubir, pulling those batch of 5 Janissaries while the barracks was getting sieged down. It's just insane play from Opti this game.
Yeah, we know Conqueror is in a rush to age here, and then he's gonna trade now a little bit, some wood, and manage to get the resources to age. But he doesn't have the capital, so he's not gonna be able to age up fast. Does he has it? He has it. Very nice, but he hasn't used it yet. Oh, okay. Let's see how long it's gonna take for him to. Oh, there he goes. Not so long, so he's gonna be able to age quite fast here.
Yeah.
You still have some of the Highlanders and maybe 3 F zones. I think that's what it is. Line infantry. Is that the natives? Or
Yeah, they're basically native musketeers with a bit from the big button, I think. I
Big
think
button one.
USA is not in a too bad of a spot right now.
That's
If
trainable.
you can get some sharpshooters, if you can get the Gatling guns, he has the better economy. But look at Opti. Opti already dropping a second TC on the right side of the map, securing resources, trying to get back into the eco lead, going full into Jan Avis. Even has stagecoach working for
Yeah, he's
him.
a stagecoach. Yeah, I was just saying that he's just so done. He's gonna get some extra wood for the extra house. With the, he's looking pretty good.
Ooh, this could be deadly though. If
Oh
Optimus
boy.
gets caught out in the open
Oh my
field,
god, he
with
has
all
so
those Abus
many,
spinners,
so many Abus. I don't think you need that many.
yeah, I think
10, 12 Abus is more than enough. But now that he's
Hazır emrin.
that's pretty scary. And if he pushes this and with the 10 Ulans, he's gonna be doomed if you get
yeah,
caught up
that's
here.
and remember they are better than normal veteran Ulans.
The guard,
I think
right?
the
Guard
problem
Ulans.
is right. I think the problem was,
Oh my
in that
god, he's
first
gonna
engage.
see.
Oh yeah, this could be a massacre in the
There's enough
Hungarian
Janissaries
plains.
to protect them, but because
There's
of
a lot of
the
stuff
rest of
behind
the army
as
from
well. Yeah, Opti desperately trying to go back, but what? Wait, Conqueror is trying to go for a raid instead of going straight for the Ottoman army. If Opti can somehow pull back, add in 10 more Janissaries, he might be okay.
It'll take more than that to keep me down.
Looking like a precarious position though. Even has a good mass of sharpshooters to DPS from the back. Opti's mass is safe and secure though. Might lose a lot of villagers though. Okay, Opti is pulling them just in time. And Opti just managed to survive by the skin of his teeth. Even if he was, 3 seconds late, that could have been a big cleanup. Sending in Sparky now.
It's insane how USA remass so fast. That's crazy. There's so many Avises though. What the heck? He's gonna come with only infantry here. He's not gonna do dragoons. He's gonna send a spy on top of that to the snaring. It actually just might just work. Because the spy is gonna survive for quite a lot of time, and then the Avis is just gonna punish even with the. I think all that many Avises he can one shot Ayulan, so it doesn't really matter at this point.
Villagers migrating on the right side, going to the bottom right TC.
Optimus on top.
And
He's just
Opti's movement.
yeah, just so good. Oh my
Okay,
god,
there's
so
the
many
Sparky,
Avises.
Avis
It's scary
going
to see, dude.
forward.
There's a lot of infantry here from Conqueror as well.
Nice track box pulling in the Spahi and Janissaries in the front. Highlanders going
The
forward.
Janissaries
into
should go
Hero
melee.
versus
The
Janissaries
Spahi is still taking a lot of damage.
There's
Good
a
micro
big line
here.
of sharpshooters though. If some Abus, if some
Oh
Ulans
my
are
god,
survived, the Abus
what
are
a
there
cleanup.
taking. Some shock riders still left. Magas are still left. Sharpshooters DPSing behind that. What is the remaster Opti here? 5 more Abus gunners, not what he needs. He has although dealt with the USA hand cavalry. Scum, Goon versus Abus gunners. I think Abus gunners are okay here.
The Avis is
Opti
doing pretty well
survives
versus
again.
all of this. It was crazy how fast the Spy melted in there. He doesn't have anything to contest the Abus at this point. And Skirm versus Skirm here, I don't think is a big deal for the
Do
Ottomans.
remember that sharpshooters outrange Aegis gunners, but I think US just has a much better eco. Opti lost like 6 villagers in that previous engagement. Conqueror even taking veteran hussars for the calf switch. Yep, there it is. So yeah, Opti survives, but at what cost?
Yeah, with the musketeer at this point in H3, he's not gonna cut it. He's gonna have to add dragoons and maybe some delis, and he still has the falconet shipment as well. That probably could have been pretty good. He just didn't have enough musketeers to tank, and that was probably the biggest deal. And then the Spahi in front just tanking everything. It didn't really connect. They didn't accomplish much there. The Spahi there. It was not a good fight. Just sending in the Spahi into the U lands with so many units in the back. But huh? So we have the trading post there. You can train. He can train the Tatars as well.
I think he's just
Instead
going
of
for the
going
cav
for-
archers instead.
So Craftus was showing there with he can actually get extra range on the cav archers with that attack on the trading post, so that could be quite helpful for Optimus. Right, good spot here for Optimus. Managed to get the Hussar spy in there. Well, with the 2 town centers here for Optimus, he's for some reason the score is so much better for USA. Why is that? Doing well. He did send the extra buildings as well with the 2 outposts. Those also increases gather rate by 30. Do they still do that 30% gather rate? Have they nerfed that? Don't remember. With the 2 Russian immigrants. What's the percentage? It's 20%. Yeah. So it was nerfed to 20% some time ago. Yeah. So I just remember there was some nerf on that. And also the more buildings you have, I think that's gonna reflect on the score. I don't know if USA overscores or not. Plus the 3 cool.
Consider it done.
Yes.
Oh gosh. So many skirms that just popped. Gosh. That's crazy.
I'm back. Sorry for that, guys.
Yeah,
Hope I
he
didn't
just
miss
in the
anything.
Kentucky skirms now, and then he has a bunch of skirms. He's got Carbine Cav, and I think it has Veteran Haas as well.
What is your command?
And then the score is, looking at the score alone is super scary for USA here, and it also has some old hoods on top of that to get the added damage with the cracked attack.
Yes, what you need.
It's just not enough. Abus at this point with the big shipment that he had there. That's insane. And the Hussars are coming through. The cav archers on the back, just waiting for them. But he just wants to take that town center down. There's a couple of villages there probably. He's gonna lose this hunt, and that's the hunt that he was actually getting all his food from. That's gonna be sometime. Then he's gonna be out of resources for a while.
Yeah. Has Opti not scouted the top left of the map where he has a safe hunt and the mine? That could be big.
I think he was just taking control of this right side of the map, but now that he lost it, he's just gonna have to find another hunt, right?
Right. And it's just so tough to take trades with sharpshooter because of the range. They always get the first shot. They are better than normal musketeers. And look at those 3 imams grouped together with the Avas guns.
What
So
you
Opti
do
will
now?
now lost his
Optimus.
town center, now losing his stagecoach TP. Conquer playing this slow and steady. He knows he wants to secure this win.
Otto's is losing again. So what was that? So he's gonna get extra stuff. Magar Hussars. So you got okay. One single Maya Hussar. Two Maya Hussars. But and it also has 10 dailies as well. A bunch
Ooh,
of
big
card
gas
vouchers and
switch, though.
some good mass coming back here from Optimus.
Does
Is it that
Opti have
enough though
cap
to
combat,
face?
though?
He doesn't
Oh, he
have card
doesn't even
combat
have it
in the
in his
deck.
deck. Yeah.
That's unfortunate. Yeah, the mass of Abuses are gone, and then so many sharpshooters is still in place. Yeah, that's a rough place to be in right now. Like so many units here from USA. I think Conquer actually is gonna be able to take the finger off.
Yeah, and one cool thing to note is that with the stagecoach, I think Conqueror actually was able to scout the Delhi mass. So even the surprise element of the calf switch has gone. So yeah, Conqueror knows what's up, and I think that was one of the last few things that could have helped Opti come back into this game. And even now, that surprise element is gone.
Does he has the Mamelukes as well on the deck? Yeah, that could be also something that because if he runs out of food, he could just put everybody on coin. Too long way for that. I think he's just finding hunts because you can see he's not gathering enough. He just like had 10 people working, 10 villagers working. Everybody else must be moving or doing something else. And they're coming forward for these hunts. Okay, most of his villagers are on coin now. There's a lot of carbine now. Even with the MAMs, it's not going to be much impactful anymore.
Right, and that's a lot of Carbine Cav stuff. And USA flag coming in, Veteran Hussars coming in, Carbon Drive going boom. I think that is just a lot of blue stuff. Opti trying to micro his Avis on the Carbine Cav. Huss on the Cav Archer. Good positioning by Opti though. But again, it's just too much stuff principle. And yeah, Conquer comfortably, Z moving the USM army, marching into victory on the Hungarian plains. And finally, Conqueror gets one win off Opti. Very well played by Conqueror this game.
Yeah, that was a nice comeback there. For a second, he looked like he had lost the game, But for some reason, USA managed to just keep popping units in H3 like crazy. A big heavy mass of U-lands and then major scum mass done in 2 seconds, and it just brought him back to the game. He didn't even see any Gatling on the field. Well played for Conqueror, the right picks, and managed to take the win and managed to take a game off big Optimus, Optimus being outperforming into this tournament. And it was just a great pleasure to cast this. And we will have I think a series just after now with Harris and Shake will be casting the next series. It's just gonna be just after now, right? Guys?
Yeah, I think Psionic and Rohbrot are ready to go. And yeah, it was a pleasure casting with you. Great job of production craft. Well played by both players. GG Optimus securing 4 victories for HPB. And yeah, on to the next series. I'll let Shake and Harry take over. Pleasure casting with you, Caverna. And guys, keep watching, keep donating. We have a lot more series to go. And yeah, good night.
Yeah. Likewise, and yeah, you can see there that the villager population for Conqueror was just so steady, and he was just on top of it. And I think he just managed to scale more. Can you just look at the resource gathered as well? Let's just have a quick look there. Let's see. Yeah, he just I think at the beginning, like the Ottomans was relying on the shipments and then the crates. That's why probably the overscoring there. Very nice. I think that's the end for me as well. Thanks everybody. Thanks Craft. Appreciate it, bro.
He's gonna take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get on the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 fills. He's so far at an eco. Put some fills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP. The cap is going down. It's getting melted by the buildings here. The longbows are still standing and doing damage.
Does he have enough steam though? I think
There's not
Julian is
enough
running out.
slow-mo, yeah.
Eaton Bowman, 1.5 fire rate once again, coming up, Truck being king here, and just even though
Drag boxing the
long-
Naginatas forward, the Coyotes are trying to move, and the Atoman, he drag boxed the wrong direction, and now the Atomans are getting snared by
oh my
the.
god,
Oh my
Nagis are
goodness!
shredding this right now. And it doesn't look like he's got his...
11s.
I don't see any of the pikes. Where's the pikes on his fight? The Nagis are just cleaning this entire mass up. Coyotes are falling. You got the Ashies getting buff for the Dynamo. They've got Ashy attacking. They're absolutely shredding everything here. Yumi's don't even need to micro this at this point.
He's gonna have to sack off his thrust. Yes, he has to come in melee here.
Yes.
I don't think he can continue keep microing. Well, he's gonna try, wait for reinforcements and try to make it to his blockhouses. The question is, how much damage will he gonna be taking? This is nice micro from Ungers, but you know, the Atontons just have to attack move here. And 1.5 fire rate, they do have staff animation. And the Tontons are absolutely insane. But he has drawn him into the double blockhouse. Now fighting under double blockhouse. The question is it going to be
Skits
enough
are a little
to defend it?
behind here. The Cossacks are now getting snared by the Pumas and the Coyotes. The Explorer is now in with the triple XP tech. Some warriors are mixing. The Atotan's doing absolutely insane amount of damage. He's on plus 36%. Look at him on the attack. That's plus 36%. And he's just
Coyotes
coming in now
on the
with
Strelitz.
blockhouses are actually doing decent damage here. The Coyotes are kind of going down. The Spears are now trying to move in towards the front, and it's actually a decent fight, I think, for Tabin.
Pretty good fight for Tabin, but you know, there's not very many Cossacks. He's letting a lot of these Coyotes and Pumas kind of shred his Strelitz a bit. Finally getting his Cossacks to where they want to be on the slingers, and gonna be cleaning up.
Here, the Essaurs are out of position. The Carolinians as well, and the Essaurs are going to go up top. Oh, the tree carrying here. The trees for Sweden, and there you go. We can see some damage here. Yeah, the Essaurs are dead. That's quite a lot of mass. The Essaurs coming back from fair rate. Nah, bah, GG. Optimus, his mass is getting completely clean. With the Essaurs, that's going to be a big snare right there, and there is no way those Carolinians are going to come out alive.
Maybe should be able to swing this water fight. Yeah, it's so the micro here is so intense. Get in, get back in. Will the Yumi have a chance to snipe him? Look at the ship is at 62 HP.
Oh! Frontline, what a god.
Oh no! Oh my god! Oh my gosh, the micro here was insane, and that's GG. Wow, those galleys have such low HP.
He's gonna need to take trades here, and he's taking really good trades. The Kanye are now pushing in, and is this the time? Ungers needs to get on the attack dance. I mean, he has 70 fills. He's so far at an eco. Put some fills on the attack dance, and this will be even better. He's not switching. He's on XP.
Well, I better not talk about how much I dislike everyone's community. Oh shit! Wait, hello everybody.
Hello, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to the second series of today for the ESOC Premier League, hosted by ESOC TV. I am joined here by one of my favorite people in the game, Harrison AOE. What's up? What's up, Harry? How are you doing?
I'm coming. I've just realised I have used the wrong case in the camera.
Oh my god! I told you to get the left camera. Come on.
I'm trying to. It's just not. It's not liking me put in lower capitals. No, fuck off.
Gotcha. Got you. Also, guys, before Harrison manages to fix all of these things that he's struggling with, I do want to note, because I haven't heard it enough last stream, a massive thank you to Kraft. Kraft came in clutch, producing for us today, produced the first series and now producing this series. Just an absolute phenomenon. And I know we like to say, please subscribe, please donate. But another thing that I would like to ask as a plea here on behalf of ESOC, if anyone has any interest in producing or casting for ESOC in the near future, please do not hesitate to reach out, because there is never enough casters and never enough producers, just because of the sheer scope and magnitude of the amount of tournaments being pumped out recently, which is such a great thing for the game and the community. So guys, if you have any spare time, if you ever had any interest with it, please do reach out to ESOC. But for today, Kraft, he is our hero. So everyone, just a big round of applause and a big thank you to Kraft in the comments. And yeah, let's get on with it. Harrison, are you excited for this series today, man?
Neutrally positive. Should be pretty good. I swear people might know I have been out of the country for 2 weeks. I have no idea the state of the EPL. I've got no idea.
No, you
who's
have
winning.
not. You have not been out of the country, Harrison. You have been on British soil. That is not true.
I have waved my passport through somebody who was half interested. Yes, you're right. I've remained on where the Union Jack has been flying across, and it's been fantastic. Great little trip that was, which I can talk more about. But I think we're talking about this for the time being.
Yes.
Yeah, no. So, no, like I said, I really haven't been following the EPL. The only EPL series I saw was literally the last series, which was the Conqueror versus Optimus, and Optimus putting in work. Not a surprise. I think if I'm not mistaken, from what little I've heard or seen, the draft is playing out, or the tournament is playing out as well as the draft pick was going on. I think the bigs were looking stacked, the SKGs were looking stacked, MDC were looking pretty poor, and Kaiser's Crassier's kind of like middle ground. So I think that's how I've seen the draft and how it's going on.
Well, MDS was kind of like a team full of tier 3 and 4 players.
Yeah.
And then Kaiser's team was like just basically Julian and Julian. And that was kind of a head-to-head fight between us and SKG, but I feel like we managed to edge them out. We kind of matched them on every level. We beat them in the head-to-head 14-11, and we're most likely going to meet them in the finals. But for you ladies and gentlemen watching at home, from whatever application you're watching, CMC still has a chance to make the finals because Conqueror won last game. But that means that Psionic has to win 5-0 against Rohbrot today, and Julian has to beat Catcherboy 5-0 as well. So there is some tension in these games today. There is something at stake. We are already in the finals, but it's more of who is going to be our competition. Now, I suggest we go into the games because we are already quite behind on schedule. But I will say one thing before that, Harrison. You know, Psionic is an excellent player. He's mechanically phenomenal, and he's one of my good friends in this game. But I think he's a bit overconfident for this series. He hasn't won an ESOC series yet, and he's playing against a seasoned veteran that last year even went to the Winter Championship Finals. And I think he's about to learn what this RTS is really all about. And yeah, I'm excited for this series because it's going to be close. It's definitely going to be close. So, Kraft, whenever you're ready, Harrison, do us the honors. Oh, game is still not up. Probably they put a 3-minute delay, but it should be up by now. So let's hope they did not.
You're such a tea shake, you are. You absolutely milk this kind of hosting casting role. You love it so much.
I do. I actually genuinely enjoy it. Okay, so the let me go pee, and we are starting. There we go. The 3 minutes have just passed. And there we go. Yeah, you got to give a show to the people, Harrison. Whenever you're ready, take us away, Harry.
Oh my
big boy.
goodness gracious, ESOC TV hype. So, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another casted series on ESOC TV. My name's Harrison. I'm joined with Big Boy Shake for a fantastic Play All 5 series today between Rohbrot and Psionic game number 1, spawning in on the Central Asia. Rohbrot spawning to the northeast in the colour blue, playing as the Brits, with Psionic taking the Italians, pulling down to the southwest in the colour red. Big Shake, you're part of the tournament. You've played some series under your belt. Let me know what team's being played. What's the current situation in the tournament for these two players, and what can we expect to see from the series in general to start us off?
So, if we're talking about the player performances so far, Psionic has played both of his 2 first weeks, so he hasn't sat on the bench once. First week didn't go as planned for him. He lost 4-1 to Tabin. And last week, a little bit better. Lost 3-2 to Soldier, but still a loss. Now, he will be looking to get his first series victory, and he actually needs a serious victory here. He can't just win. He has to steamroll Rohbrot for his team to make a chance at the to have a chance, to make the finals. And yeah, his opponent today, Rohbrot plays the first week of this tournament. He played against Soldier and won 3-2. Sat out the second week, and now he's playing in the third week. If we're looking at the decks really quickly, I know what Rohbrot's going to go for. We practiced this together. He is going to go for GMT. GMT on this map is absolutely phenomenal because it is so hard to siege these TPs on the left side of the map. Like, you can't just beeline towards it. You need to go through the pond, so you're going around, and, it is very, very hard to take down these TPs. And against Italy in particular, you can really do this 2 Falc aggressive push with the Highlanders, ship the 1,000 coin behind it, and kind of match Italy in age up. And you can get the Queen's Rangers, where you get 30 skirmishers. You can get infinite rockets. You can get the British Grenadiers, the H4 pikemen, and you can match them in boom, basically. So I'm going to be surprised if we don't eventually see an H4 versus H4 standoff, but that's probably not going to happen if Rohbrot or Psionic manages to just clearly win the game in H3, which, again, is not really the objective of either one of these teams, players. So what do you think about the Italian deck here, Harrison?
Pretty standard. The fact that he's not got a full rack of H4 cards is mildly concerning. Quite often you will be wanting to go that way, and versus a Rohbrot's Brit pick, I'm sure he would have known the matchup before clicking into the game, might have adjusted decks slightly. We do see is that the Maltese company, the 13 units in age number 2, Croatian company, Krabats and Shivans? Okay, it's not. I don't think we'll be seeing that card being played. I can't really think of Sark looking to be aggressive and trying to rush GMT and AJ behind. It's not quite the play style that Italy really enjoy, and that's the only real strong counter to GMT, is either a full commit to stopping it or pushing it on their AJ timing with an H2 rush, or kind of holding it yourself. And I think Italy plays into that FI and trying to hold it himself point of view.
Yeah, I agree with you. I mean, the only ways you really deal with an Italian FI, well, deal is a big word, right? With a British GMT FF, is either you commit to a full H2 or you kind of do a semi-FI yourself. So what I have seen France players do, particularly Minimalt, who is my teammate, great player, by the way. If you don't know Minimalt, one of the best North American players to play the game. Very, very high-level player.
One of the best looking too.
He is phenomenally beautiful, isn't he? The sexy long hair he's got on him. But yeah, beside his aesthetics, his in-game aesthetics are also not bad at all. He kind of developed the build where he goes for a Pike semi in H2, takes down the TPs, and follows Brits up to H4 himself, where France really shines with the four Culverin shipments, big cursor skirmisher shipments, eco shipments, so that is one way to try and deal with it. But then again, you're kind of relying on mechanically to beat your opponent, which is always kind of almost an even playing ground, right? Now, this tower positioning from Rohbrot is very interesting. I think he could have even sneak that a little bit further up, don't you think? But this is quite a sneaky position for him. 700 coin is already on the floor, picking up British at Brit's perspective at his TC. There we go. He's already picking it up. 700 wood on the way, and it just feels so good when you play GMT and you're uncontested and you manage to gather the food for the Highlanders, and no one's stopping you or really trying to put a dent in your build order. That's where the comfort zone of a player, for example, like Rohbrot is, because say what you
Yeah.
want about him being a build order bot, but he's one of the best build order bots in the game. And whenever he smells blood, he pounces.
Yeah, this build order or strategy is very build order dependent, but once you have it ironed down, that's when it's really strong. Also, rewards players with really good military control, especially in low numbers, which ticks Rohbrot's box. I've noted how the outpost is on the opposite side to the trading post, and I think that's a very tactical decision there, because Psionic, if he wanted to try and do something, has to commit either one way or the other, and there's no way he's able to contest those TPs on the top side while then being able to move back swiftly enough to kind of hold on to that push from the outpost. Question for you, Shake. I do see some British Grenadier cards, 4 Grens plus Artillery Foundry and H3. Is there Grenadier variation to what Rohbrot may be wanting to try and do here?
I mean, you can just keep shipping it if you notice that the game is going into an extended H3, right? The British Grenadier card is undervalued and underrated against infantry civs because the longbows don't really do as much of a job against heavy infantry, right? Longbows are more of an anti-skirm goon unit. Can we just hover over the Italian deck and the Italian base really quickly, Big Boy Craft, to see what he's doing? Yeah, so he's already aging up. But yeah, to answer that question, you know, with the British Royal Grenadiers, you also get grenade launcher, and you enable the Grenadiers to be built in the barracks. And you also see that, if I'm not mistaken, he has the 6 Grenadiers in deck as well. If we switch over to Rohbrot's perspective,
5 plus 1, I think. 5 Grens plus something.
Oh yeah, so he's got Line Grenadiers and he's got that. So like he can follow up with it if he wants to. But look at this timing already coming in with the Tomahawks. Can we just get rid of that? There we go. Forcing an early Minuteman out. Explorer is snaring Tomahawks. Tomahawks are going to try and kite themselves away. Very nice micro from Rohbrot there. Disconnecting one. Oh, Psionic has paused the game. Maybe struggling a little bit with lag.
I'm not a fan of this
Yeah.
early Tomahawk push. I know that it's not really meant to do anything too drastic while it's waiting for Highlanders and Falconets to turn up on the field, but I think the baiting of the Minutemen, that is more on Psionic's dropping the ball than Rohbrot's pure genius of baiting it out. But the fact that he got the Explorers snaring the Tomahawks, if he loses a couple there, that's just less units to protect the main push of the Highlander Falconet. So I think Rohbrot's got away with quite a lucky play there.
Yeah, I completely agree with you, Kraft. What did you say there? Can you just repeat it? Yeah, no, yeah, we know. But anyways, I think this is good for Rohbrot, purely based off the fact that he managed to eventually just cause the Minutemen to come out. And Psionic's frantically going to look for that tower, and he's not really going to find it because he's not going the right direction. So he's kind of just making a beeline for the town center. Now, this is really, really bad for him, because if he manages to lose all of these musketeers without any military support behind it, and the Highlanders can come in, which I think they're just behind him with the Tomahawks over there. If we can just look over quickly to the British Army. Yeah, there we go. The Tomahawks and the Highlanders are there trying to kind of cut off the Italian army. Where are the Falcons popping from? Are they popping from the TC? Yes, they are. So they're going to try and kind of sandwich the Italian infantry, but it's not really working out for him. So he's just bringing the army together, trying to do his trying to keep his Falconet safe. And yeah, if we're switching over to the Italian perspective really quickly, let's see what he's doing. Is he shipping his own Falconets? Yes, go ahead, Harrison.
I was about to say, it looked like only just then at that native TP, both armies revealed where their positions are. Sark only just seeing the mass of Tomahawks and Highlanders and therefore retreats. We had the map fully revealed, but I think both players had no idea where each other army or units were positioned. So it could have been drastically caught out, either player, and that could have been a colossal, disastrous fight. So luckily, Psionic moving back to his base and kind of regrouping with his 2-ship Falcons. I feel a little bit safe with him because, as you say, pushing out with those Age 2 Musks and 1 HP Minutemen was risky, knowing that there would be Highlanders and Falconets earlier for Rohbrot's point of view. I thought it was a bit of a strategic question mark there from Psionic. Very risky play.
Yeah, and look at this. Both players really respecting each other. Psionic in base with the Falconets unpacked already, just anticipating the 2 Falconet push. Whereas in the middle of the map, Rohbrot is doing the same, making use of his native scout as well, spotting that Explorer, taking him out. 45 XP, he will take that every day of the week. And yeah, shipping the 1,000 coin. And Rohbrot knows he doesn't have to take a fight right now. He knows that he can just stay here, kind of bait Psionic into staying in H3 a bit longer. and go H4 behind it himself. And if we're switching over to Psionic, it kind of looks like he is taking that bait, and he's not aging it. He's staying in H2. He doesn't have veteran Musketeers researched either yet. If we're looking over at his Musketeers, he still has... Oh, no, there we go. Finally, he does have the H3 Musketeers in. But yeah, Psionic is kind of looking like he's committing to H3 for now, maybe looking for an Albanian company shipment, because that's what the macro is kind of hinting at, isn't it?
Yeah, it's looking like he's going to try and follow up. It's trying to be reactive. I'm sure Saka's kind of theory crafted or understood what the GMT is or what the GMT strategy tries to achieve. So pumping in wood into Lombards to get your coin and food back, but he's still got the best part of 500 wood, where ideally you'd rather have that into food and coin. And without shipping resource crates itself, this follow-up here from Sonic, well, you can see he's just massing. There's no way he's really going to try and get up to the next stage in time. So he's kind of committing to this play, but he's going for mass musketeers. Ideally, he wants to drop an artillery foundry and just kind of, I guess, Muskfalk, the Muskfalk Lord himself, because otherwise, I feel without any artillery to back this up, Rohbrot in the third age, 3 rockets will come out, maybe with the first batch of the
Engineer age of Harrison, we're
Rangers.
forgetting that he's gonna have 4 Falconets to Psionics too, because he's gonna be aging up. Oh, okay, so he's aging up with the Tycoon. Excuse me, I know Rohbrot for aging up with the Engineer, but this can be really dangerous if the timing push comes in with the Albanian company, actually, Harrison. So
Nah,
Rohbrot,
I disagree slightly on that one, because the 3 rockets will be enough to cover with the 2 Falk, but then that coin will be able to for an early mercantilism and push through three rockets, 2 factories, that kind of play behind. So I think, although you would be tempted for an extra 2 Falconets, you have to use it to get the advantage, where you're always going to use that 1,000 coin, either for military with the church technologies, with the Rogers Rangers, Queen's Rangers, or via mercantilism and more tempo with more stuff from your home city. So I think it's pretty safe with this. And look at this, he's gone for Rogers Rangers, and I'm sure we'll follow up with the Queen's Rangers with the rocket play behind to kind of round up this composition.
yeah, and look, Psionic is really probing right now. He is going to try and go into the British base with his Falcon. That's a very dangerous push for him right now, because those rockets can just pop on the front in between these manors being defended, but he doesn't. Oh, okay, he's leaving a Falconet out there exposed a little bit. I don't know what he's trying to do with that Falconet. Probably extra line of sight scouting, but yeah, Albanian company is going to be very difficult to hold here. Yes, he does have these Highlanders, but it's not. It doesn't seem like a lot of anti-cav for
Where's that
Rohbrot
cavalry
right here.
going? Has he revealed that cavalry to... I think he's revealed the cavalry to Rohbrot, so a couple of Rogers Rangers got picked up there, but that doesn't really matter. Queen's nearly in, Queen's going to come in behind, but the Highlanders, Tomahawks will move forward. Cavs going to charge in behind, but the heavy artillery actually working really well behind. Minutemen being called, he's good, Minutemen, he hasn't got enough for the Queen's Rangers, which is a bit of an awkward time, but I'm sure follow-up not too bad. Look at the Highlanders in melee mode, and the rockets blasting H3 Musketeers. Rockets do go down, but I think it's still okay-ish for Rohbrot, because I'm sure... Oh, he literally has nobody on coin. He
Doesn't
still
know.
You can sell it though. He can sell for the units, and he's going to do that now. One more click, and he should be... Oh, he's so close!
Yeah, and when the Rogers Rangers are going to come in, like, they're going to clean absolutely everything here, because the Albanian existent, right? So finally he's going to be able to click that, and he's taking a fight knowing that TC cannot go down. That timing needs to survive, not only for the Rogers Rangers, also for the Rockets to be able to come in. So that's a smart fight to take here for Rohbrot, and the Rogers Rangers are in, and look at them just one-shotting these Falconets, absolutely manhandling them, and the Rockets come in, and the Rockets also do bonus damage against our cavalry, so they'll be able to deal with the Stradiot and with that Bosniak, on top of the fact that the Rogers Rangers have just completely dealt with both of the Falconets that were trying to run away from the fight. And behind this, Rohbrot can also just ship the Gentleman of the Pike, one of the cards recently introduced to Brit in the last patch last year, and yeah, all of a sudden this position is not even looking that bad anymore for Brit. If we can just switch over to Italy's perspective, I don't think Psionic was sitting idly by this whole time. Yes, he isn't, and he is going to go H4 himself with a better economy, and from now on, Rohbrot kind of has a little bit of a window to push and do some damage before Italy just gets absolutely incredible units out and just wins the game.
By the way, though, looking at this position, looks like Psionic actually, I think, is in a tactically strong position. Aging up to the 4th age, Papal Guard, 2 shipments ready to go, and likely going to be 4 coal. Was it 3 coal first? Another shipment ready to go. Could be 2 Papal Bombards behind. I think the units that Psionic can make at this moment in this position is just better. Rohbrot has low eco and needs to push with his skirmishers. I think they're still at age 2 units. He needs to upgrade them to at least veteran rangers. He's got a couple of rockets behind. He's kind of weak to cav in general. Like, this competition feels quite awkward. He needed to have that coin ready to time at least the Queen's Rangers with the initial 3 rockets, Highlanders. So he's kind of a bit weak at the moment. A couple guard skirms from Italy should be able to kind of... I think they outranged the Rangers too as well. So Rohbrot is on the march. The score, I don't think, tells the full story here. Yes, there is guard pikes, but full skirm production here with shipments of artillery should be enough to hold position.
It is going to be, and these 3 culverins are now arriving, and they're going to be able to one-shot each rocket individually and just take down the artillery threat. Now, Rohbrot's score is a bit inflated, as you know, because of all of these shipments he has received, and you've noted it, and it's very true. These skirmishers just managed to outrange the Rogers Rangers that, by the way, do not shadow tech into H4 anymore like they used to before. They're just regular veteran Rangers. So in a skirm war, yes, he does have more units, but eventually he will lose the skirm war. Yet now you can see him retreating his rocket.
Going forwards, and the rockets are trying to unpack, but a shot will come off here.
Yes, a shot comes off.
Sorry. I need to tee up a ESOC scream.
Oh, a shot! No, it didn't come. Okay, almost. So yeah, ooh, a lot of Italian vills over here. Okay, that's actually quite a nice pickup for Rohbrot here. Very nice one.
Out there. That's ballsy there from Psionic.
Heinous.
But it should be fine though.
Yeah, he should be fine. And from Rohbrot's perspective, I'm looking at this macro and I know what he's going to be shipping next. I think he's... Oh, no, okay, so he's going to try and go for culverins. Oh, he doesn't even have the Jet Lancers in deck. I thought he was trying to go for a big Jet Lancer switch here, which wouldn't have even been such a bad idea because the Rangers do have high multipliers against heavy infantry. Try and pick off a little bit of these halberdiers in the front, these Papal Guards, and just smash it in with the Lancers. What Rohbrot really needs here is just one cleanup, one fight that guarantees him 2-3 extra minutes of breathing room in the game for him to try and kind of outscale Italy a little bit. Maybe add an extra TC, maybe ship 1,000 wood, get more manners, but who am I kidding, Harrison? We all know Rohbrot. Rohbrot isn't going to do any of these things. He's going to ship more artillery. He's going to make more units. He's going to fight you in a Cold War, and that's how he's going to try and win the game. He's not going to look to out-eco you. He's going to try and force you into a big decisive fight, and he's going to try and clean you up, and no matter how much you think you're ahead economically, your villagers at the end of the day won't win you.
Well, yeah, you're right. He wants to try and win military. That's Rohbrot's playstyle. But the reason is because he will not outscale Italy. Italy at the moment with 2 TC, villagers per tech, and all that, and all the shipments ready to go. Rohbrot's sending shipments. He hasn't got the batteries in just yet. So he has to win this fight. Good call from control from Rohbrot so far. Howard is going deep. They're getting shafted by the rockets. We have skirm artillery play behind. I can't expect Psionic to back off here. I think he's realised he sees those 3 culverins, he knows he's got less culverins, he can't get close to the rockets, and this is a smart move from Psionic. He's living to fight another day, he's realised he's been bested here, hasn't overcommitted, and opportunity for him to change his composition to kind of keep up.
Yeah, I mean, Rohbrot's unit control is just always so surprising, right? Because he doesn't use any control. And you're not expecting him to be able to multitask as well as he does, but he really manages to control multiple unit groups at the same time, especially when it comes to his favorite units, artillery. He knows when to move his anti-artillery, when to the infantry artillery, when to move his infantry as well. He just does an excellent job, and even in this big fight, yes, he lost a couple of skirmishers there, but these 3 culverins have fully paid for themselves in taking out 2 Papal Bombards and the culverin or 2, if I'm not mistaken, and all of the rockets are still alive. So, as we said, if you can see this, before this fight, Italy's score was, he was 3k ahead, and now the scores are equal, and Rohbrot kind of got that breathing room he really did. it's looking manageable now for Rohbrot. Yes, his score is still inflated, but if he just keeps winning every fight, it's going to be hard for Psionic to do anything about it unless he
but
manages to
Shay,
multitask well and outscale.
Rohbrot sends in another 2 rockets, which is great for kind of military, but he's out of infantry. It's just rockets and culverins. Italy can also always add in some papal lancers for that kind of shadow attack guard cavalry, but it's not factories. There's no eco behind it. He's not spamming out the manor houses to drive that village production. He's not sending in the British manor card in Age 4 for the mini town centres from the manor houses themselves. The whole point of the GMT is you be aggressive, you force responses, you handle it, and you then either swamp in with military or you pivot into eco. At the moment, Rohbrot mistimes the military pulled together with the Queen's Rangers technology, and now he's having to send infinite rockets to stabilize, which this artillery mass is insane. Like, it's great, but it's only 40 vills behind this, and Psionic is pretty safe going later game in this situation. 57 vills, all his buildings are free, send in a factory. It's just for what Psionic needs to do is realize he sees all this artillery. He sees that there's 4 culverins and doesn't try to fight with 2. I know Psionic thinks he's the king of the micro, but he needs to realize he needs to add in more artillery, maybe add in some guard cavalry of some sorts. Could even be via the native posts to get to that situation and just kind of buy for time.
Yeah, I completely agree with you. Like, Rohbrot, his whole game style really depends on forcing his opponents to fight fights that his opponents don't really want to fight most of the time, right? And he knows that Psionic is ahead, and he wants to push and probe a little bit to kind of force him into what could be an unfavorable trade for Psionic, and then just collapse on his base and try and equal out the economies by taking out buildings and taking out villagers. That is really Rohbrot's game style. He has a shipment in queue. Let's see what he's shipping. Okay, he's finally shipping his factory right now, which is going to give him a little bit of an equal. But we both know he's not going to use that factory for economy. He's going to put it on rockets as soon as it's built.
Oh, look at this. Finally,
Springade
Springade is here for Italy. That makes me feel a little bit more comfortable, because previously he was just trying to fight Age 3 Colvs into Age 4 from Rohbrot. It's just never going to work. These Colvrins, though, they're packing decent damage here from Briz. They've killed so many skirms. You wouldn't think about it, but they have.
But he's moving forward with his rockets, which I don't really like. You really want to keep behind the culverins, so just in case your opponent's culverins want to move forward and snipe your units. But again, just the unit control from Rohbrot has been super impressive so far. I think this game the culverins have at least killed like 20 skirmishers so far, as you've noted. And do we check? Let's see on the British perspective. Does he have Culverin Royale in? He probably should have this. Okay. But if you're looking at the line of sight, you have 34 range right now for the Culverin Royales. And if we're switching over to the Spring Garden, not only are they better, but he probably also, okay, there we go. He has the arsenal for, is it more range or more line of sight? More line of sight.
More line of sight, but he'd also likely to have the line of sight upgrades from the Basilica due to the
exactly what I wanted to say. Exactly what I wanted to say.
Sorry.
No. Great minds think alike, Harry. And yeah, it's just he's going to have the advantage when it comes to the Culverin fights. But what could really kill Psionic's plans here, and I don't know if he notices it, but if he stops the Culverin production, he's going to be in a bit of a pickle, which he doesn't look like he's doing, which is smart. But Rohbrot will overmake Culverins just purely for the fact that he knows that he wants to win the Culverin war, because the damage dealer in the British army right now are the rockets. Right, and as long as you're able to protect them, like these Bersaglieri and Pikes, bless their souls, are not going to be able to deal with 6-7 rockets.
I wonder what the eco situation for Psionic is. He has got a couple of mills down. He's currently on to like 80-ish villages, as you can see. Factory in, that's on the Papal Bombard production. Hasn't quite moved into Basilica units just yet. Let's look at his deck. There's quite a few late game shipments to still send. So yeah, he's still got the Cav Combat, still got the Milanese arsenal, which is actually fantastic. But I think he's also already going through quite a lot of his techs normally, so maybe disincentivized to go Milanese. I'm sure Advanced Basilica will be his next card of choice when he decides to go for it, and then start massing in or adding in those units, especially as the shipment curve from Italy starts to slow down, so you can spend more time training those units from your home city kind of timer queue.
And you can also see that Psionic isn't really, he doesn't really know Italy in and out, because a good Italy player would right now just be spamming the Papal Lancers or the Papal Guards from the Basilica, especially in between shipments like this, where you're quite far away from another shipment, you have the resources. He would just be clicking on that, that Papal Lancer company over and over again until...
Army min-map, let's have a look.
Yeah, so the armies are kind of trying to get closer to each other. Rockets just fired a massive volley or something. I don't really know what they volleyed on. Here you see these culverins going forward. We've got 1, 5, 6 Springhards. And if we're looking over from at Rohbrot's perspective, very nice, by the way, putting that Papal Bombard that can take 3 Culv shots, by the way. He's got 6 culverins of his own. So the culverin numbers are equal, and look at that, just every slight little advantage he can try and get, he's using. Shipment in queue, more rockets gonna come in. Another rocket is going to be good as well. He can place down a couple banners as well, pop space, which he will need. There we go, and the rocket comes out eventually. All Rohbrot has to do is trade well with the culverins, and he's getting more culverins, so he's gonna get 8, and he's first gonna take a shot on the infantry, and more skirmishers go down. Just a shot and going back, a shot, go back. Just as long as you're not in the line of sight of your opponent's culverins, you're fine. And now the culverins are approaching each other and taking some trades, and 3 culverins going down for Rohbrot, whereas only 1 culverin so far went down, and the split firing from Rohbrot has not been the greatest here, and more culverins on Rohbrot's side are going down, and 3 culverins alive for Italy, 2 culverins alive for Rohbrot, but a misfire twice right here on the culverins on the Italian side, and he's deciding to just jump in with all of his pikes. He sees that there isn't any cavalry on the field. He tries to take down the culverins manually, and there we go. Not only does he take down the culverins, he also manages to take down the Papal Bombard, and now the rockets can just march forward and try and catch these Italian infantrymen off guard, while his pikes just did what they had to do, and he barely really lost any pikes for his troubles there.
So, something I was thinking about in that fight was, I don't think it really played because the Papal Bombard was held back, but the Papal Bombard acts as a little shield for the culverins. It has an artillery deflection ability, so you kind of... It's not there for offensive purposes, it literally is there for a sponge. So I added, maybe that might have explained why some of Rohbrot's Cull shots weren't killing as many as you'd expect, but he's killed some... he's killed all the Culls, he's killed some pikes, he's got to back out. He's still trying to be aggressive with skirmishers, and this is... I see what you mean by Sark hasn't had the greatest EPL, because he's still trying to move in pure skirm, and he's just losing so many units hand over fist, achieving nothing, when actually those skirms, they could be running topside raiding, they could be running right on the gold mine raiding, he could be, sitting back, booming behind with his massive eco, but at
I must poke! Oh, this is awesome, Harry. We've been having this conversation all EPL. A lot of these older players have come back.
Another one to the unbacked goals, and the thing is, oh my god, look at the long range on that one!
Oh my god, this is so funny. So many of these older players have come back, and they keep poking everything. I have seen Turk try to poke my organs with sepoys. Stop trying to poke all the time, and that's kind of what Psionic's losing a lot of units to. Now he's definitely ahead in the game. He's on 40 more villagers than Rohbrot right now. He's fully transitioned, and Rohbrot with his mills down here, not in a good position, but these rockets just absolutely punishing these skirmishers every time they go forward, and a couple of culverin shots managed to... Oh, what a big volley by the rockets there.
On the field. There's no anti-cav here from Italy. Why has he not made any anti-cav? 5 H2 Hussars will be enough to... He's just donated so many Royal Guard culverins, and this is painful to watch.
And the Papal Lancers are finally on the floor here, but what I'm trying to say to you right now is that the game looks over from a neutral perspective, but knowing both players, Rohbrot isn't dead.
He's running in again. He's running in again.
He's again trying to poke, and these guys are just going to unpack and unleash another massive volley, especially... Oh, no, he just managed to get away because the skirmishers are quicker than Hussars, But nice raid simultaneously. This is really where Psionic shines. Psionic is a player that absolutely shines in these late game situations because his APM never dips. It always stays consistently very, very high. And he's going to run you all around the map, and especially for a player like Rohbrot with minimal control, minimal hotkeys and no control groups to speak of, it's going to be really hard for him to try and focus to be all over the map simultaneously. And that's where Psionic can just pull ahead, even though he's not managing to win a fight and just lost the Vil to 7 rocket shots, and now he's going to lose more skirmishers. Oh my god, these volleys are just absolutely huge. Like, he's going to just try and run Rohbrot ragged until his economy is just absolutely set to the brim with all the upgrades.
I think that's good. I think that's a good play. Oh, rocket volleys. He's still charging with the skirmishers, and they're going down. The thing is, the best raiders in the game that Psionic have are actually the skirmishers themselves. The Papal Lancers, they're high HP. Vils have melee resist. They're expensive. They get caught. They get killed. It's not ideal, but the skirmishers should be able to run top of Vils, take a couple shots, run out.
And look at that. Triple racks on the left side of the map, trying to just be annoying. He's probably going to be pumping in pikemen from the left side, and every time a big fight's going to happen, oh, he just forgot about that culverin, but that doesn't matter. We've lost so many culverins. Yeah, we've lost so many culverins this game. What's another culverin, you know?
So what I do like at this point, that from Italy's point of view, he's now transitioned to late game. He's starting to think about map control, angles of attack, loads of things. Finally getting some kills with the skirmishers. He's realised how good they are at this point. Quite a lot of huffs there, actually. Are they? I think they're King's Lifeguards. They look like it. Yeah, the King's Lifeguards are out. Oh my god, that's a lot of dead skirms in a moment.
Yes, and we're collapsing on the pikemen for some reason instead of going straight for the skirmishers and just trying to cut off the head of the snake.
Please.
But Psionic does have a reinforcing batch, if I'm not mistaken, coming from the pikemen. If we can just switch over to Psionic's perspective 1 second and just look at the left side. Yeah, he has a reinforcing batch of pikemen coming in. But what is Rohbrot going to do now? Because he's not really on a timer. It's the 90th minute, and you have to score a goal right now or the game's over. So he's going to decide to just go for the throat. But the problem is Italy's throat is stretched across the entire map, and Psionic is kind of falling asleep here and eating these rockets and culverin shots, losing all of his artillery and his Papal Lancers while trying to raid on the left side of the map. And now all of a sudden, Italy's army is just completely vanished, and Rohbrot can just pack these units and march straight into the Italian base. Well, you know, he's got skirmishers here that don't have a lot of siege, and you've got rockets trying to do as much damage as possible to these skirms, while simultaneously Rohbrot's got an army of siege, and more siege. He can take down buildings quicker than you can count to 3, and that's what he's kind of intending on doing right here. It's all going to be a story of how's Rohbrot APM. And so far it looks like he's holding out quite fine. What do you think, Harrison?
Oh, I think the fact that most of his skirms are kind of trapped on the wrong side, facing hussars and rockets. Rohbrot diving onto the eco. Vils have to garrison to the TC, otherwise to take colossal damage. Some couple spring guys come out, but that rocket mass in total is actually so strong, and this is going to be buildings going down. Psionic has lost control at the moment, and yes, he's now going for halberdiers and guard pikemen behind, which is the correct play versus this, but he will never regain that culverin mass, which he needs to kill the rockets. He's got no way to get on top of rocketeers now. Halberdiers getting close, they will get munched, and Rohbrot's here is just taking kills left, right, and center. Psionic has like 2 minutes to try and stabilize position, but I think Rohbrot has pulled off, honestly, a fantastic. Well, I won't speak too soon at the moment, but I'm struggling to see where culverins are going to appear from Psionic's point of view.
I'm struggling to see the same thing, and as I said before, Rohbrot is a player that's just going to go for the jugular every single time. And if you lose one big fight to him, it doesn't matter how much ahead you are economically. If he has enough resources to pump out units, he's going to keep pumping out units. And look at him just multitasking and APMing. I keep saying this to people. Rohbrot is a phenomenal player. He will not just bend over and die. Roll over and die. Like, he is a very good player. Look, a rocket shot there, managing to take a couple of pikes. Very nice. Explorer being revived. Can we go back to the Italian base? A lot of villagers going down, and the score is almost equal. Italy was up 10k score. He's trying to pump out a couple of halberdiers to try and save his base, but all of his villagers are going down. His production buildings are going down. Rohbrot knows exactly what to focus, while simultaneously in his base, if we can look over to the British base, I think he's lost one of his factories. No, he's losing his first factory. Okay, he only has one factory, if I'm mistaken, out on the floor. Okay, so he only has one factory, and that's going to be lost. But I mean, Brit is on 58 vills, which is not even that bad if you compare it to
You
Italy.
go back
If
to
we're
the Italy
switching
place,
over.
that's where the game is. Yeah,
Yes,
Brits
yes,
on
yes.
track, it's not
Let's
the end
look
of the
back
world,
over
but
there.
there's still nothing to stop this rocket tier push. And so many vills have gone down now. Let's look at Italy's vill count. I reckon it's about 35 at the moment. My guess is probably lost a huge
Oh
number.
my god, what a massive amount of fire coming in from these rockets. And now he's also been able to spot the factory, which he's going to be taking down shortly with these rockets as well. And we're having some massive issues on the side of Italy where he really thought that he just won the game, but he isn't. And culverins are actually taking huge shots. Where are the Italian culverins that are taking shots on these rockets and just killing them right now? Like, oh, they're behind the base of Italy, and he sent these couple of King's Lifeguard Azars to deal with them, and he still has a couple of rockets left, and he can ship the Infinite 2, he can ship another factory. He's up in eco right now against Italy, and he's just looking like he's stabilizing, and he keeps pushing and winning the game right now.
Yeah, Raider on the right. Rohbrot's just not making anything. His bank is just, he's just stopped producing. He needs to kind of get back onto the guard pikes or the, he has got no access to longbows anymore, so he can't really spend it into longbow production. He's got no coin. Basically that gold mine on the right was being raided, but I think it might be finished. Yeah, it's been finished. He just needs to go for a middle map gold mine. I'm sure he can get more villas, but he's down to 46. Italy still has about 50 villagers, so it's still ongoing. I guess Rohbrot just needs to send in more rockets, but maybe another factory pretty decent as well. This push has kind of just been ended, and the lack of reinforcements has really hurt this situation. Rohbrot had Italy on the run, but now look at the kind of the running around. Possible? Is there a possibility?
I don't agree with you. I don't agree with you at all, because Rohbrot is still having Italy on the ropes. Like, Italy has more than half of its economy built up right now, and he's just going into pure halberdiers, and he's on 41 villagers. If we're looking over to Brit's perspective, I think Rohbrot, yeah, he's 7 villagers ahead. He's finding another massive amount of villagers here out on the floor, and coincidentally, these Azars are going straight over to these villagers. If he will manage to snare them with his Explorer, which he is, he's going to be able to take down another, 10 villagers? And these rockets are going to come in for supporting fire as well and just do a lot of splash damage on these vills. And all of these villagers from Italy are going to go down. And yes, these halberdiers are coming, but they're coming in a little bit too late, and they're coming just in time to get face by the looks of things. But no, he decides to go back, and yeah, 2 more infinite rockets are going to come in. Italy's eco is just not stabilizing at the moment, and honestly, I would rather be Rohbrot at this stage with hindsight, but without hindsight, he sees he's down in score, but he should know that he's down in score just because Italy kind of just overscores as a civ, don't they?
Yeah, no, I think Rohbrot's still got the position to do it. He just needs to make sure that he can spend the remaining resources. He's obviously got guard pikes. I think he just needs to get back onto the veteran rangers and just do something to respond to this halberdier push, because the King's Lifeguard Hussars he's pumping more, which is great to see, but he actually hasn't got anything to block the rockets, and you don't want to fight your Huss versus. It's very expensive. He went for a full 10 batch there, but he hasn't matched it with the Rangers, so there's 2 rockets going down. That's a full shipment gone, which is a bit of a shame, but now with the area of effect, okay, they can clean up the remaining halberdiers. Yeah,
and scores are equaling up again. Rohbrot just keeps taking the best fights possible for him, right? Look at this, putting down 2 towers there as the gold mine runs out. 2 towers might have been used better on the middle of the map, and a thing that can actually win the game for Rohbrot here. Let's hope he knows the map and he knows the natives. If he manages to take the Tengri Shrine, he can get the Wind Horses, which will give his cavalry 10% faster attack rate and 10% extra speed. These King's Guard Huss with 1.35 rate of fire are probably the scariest thing for Italy right now, especially being backed by so many rockets. You know, it's basically going to be Delhi rate of fire plus attack and HP of Hazar, and he's going to catch a couple more vills in the middle of the map over here. Yeah, there we go. 2 more vills are going to go down, and he's going to escape from there without losing even a single Hazar. If we're looking over at Italy's perspective, let's see how many vills he's on. Italy right now is on 44 villagers, so Rohbrot is 10 villagers ahead. I think Psionic is frantically trying to put down some more TCs. Yes, he is on double TC again. These spikes are going to come in for another raid, but at this point, if Rohbrot has Cav Caress, which I don't think he has if we're looking at the statistics of his Huss, he does not have Cav Caress. No, he can just take fights against these spikes basically every time he wants to. All he has to do is just get a decent amount of rockets behind it, and he can just go for full cavalry artillery and win every engagement.
Stark has just raided left, right with hand infantry, and Rohbrot just is struggling to deal with. Rohbrot's struggling to make skirmishers and just station either on his eco or on his base. And a lot of vills on the gold mine being picked off on the northern side, but they're retreating back. A couple of skirms also being pushed back from the King's Lifeguard Hussars, but we need some anti-infantry. He's going for artillery play with the heavy horse guns, which I still think counter infantry rifling and a couple skirms is what he best wants to do versus these pike raids.
Yeah, I don't think Rohbrot even remembers that he can just train these skirmishers from a barracks right now. And ooh, this is really bad news. He's getting all of these Azars caught, and he's not really doing a job, unsnaring one of these Azars, but it get away safe and sound. But he just doesn't have a mass right here. And Halberdier Skirm is, as someone who likes to play with hacker pellets, just go for this cav artillery play. Eventually, the later on it gets, you will lose to Skirm Halb. I mean, in the light cav sense, but with the heavy cav, I don't know. Maybe this can go better for him if he goes artillery. Who knows? But these halberdiers are just gonna do what Rohbrot did earlier, and they're just gonna make a beeline straight for the base. And look at this, how many villagers exposed here for Brit, and his army is nowhere to be seen. And he's just gonna be able to right-click all over these villagers, and that's a lot of British villagers. He was on 56 just before this raid. He's already down to 48, and it's looking like he's not gonna stop until Rohbrot is at least going to be under 40 villagers right here, which is not only going to equal the eco, it's going to put Italy substantially ahead economically, while at the same time Rohbrot is pushing the Italian base, but his artillery is just too far behind of his cavalry, excuse me. And now this is not the situation that it was earlier. Both sides are kind of scrappy. Both sides are kind of running each other around. So Rohbrot doesn't really have that surprise factor anymore. And as I said, Psionic just excels in these late game situations where he can run around, and we're seeing it here, and he's definitely taking control of this game right now.
What Rohbrot needed to do was secure the middle map gold mine with the army and the villagers. So those villagers which got killed by the halberdiers, they could all be sat on this gold mine, farming away, getting the coin to allow him to train rangers behind this. He's trying to fight guard halberdiers with guard pikes. Unfortunately, that's not how you're going to win that one. And Rohbrot realised without any gold, can't train more hussars or artillery, and has to tap out. Hits the GG there. And for game number one, where it's all on the line for Psionic, takes the victory. What's an explosive back and forth, crazy, hilariously good and bad in places game, which I thoroughly enjoyed.
Yeah, exactly, Harrison. I'm happy that this was your first game casting back from your deployment overseas, for ESOC at least. I know you did cast a couple of games on your stream earlier. But yeah, this is kind of the precedent both of these players want to set for the rest of the series, I think. And I'm all for it. Yes, we are a little bit behind on schedule, a lot. The next series was supposed to start in half an hour from now, but I think we'll just take it at this point. And yeah, this is looking like one hell of a series we've got in front of us, ladies and gentlemen. So I am suggesting right now that Kraft will restart his computer because Twitch looks like it has a couple of issues with lag. But just to make sure that it's not on our side, let's all just hit that restart button as well. And Psionic says that he will be right back. One sec. He probably went to visit the loo for a second. So ladies and gentlemen,
I think he's a bit of a smoke enjoyer.
Yeah, I think I'm gonna follow him up on that, Harrison, and I'm gonna let you carry the next 3 minutes of the stream. So if you guys will excuse me, I will be right back in 2 minutes.
Yeah, I know. I don't mind. I don't mind that call. We're in between games.